Hello, welcome. Good evening. See, we've got some people here already in the chat. Louis was super early. Hey, Louis. Appreciate you. If you're still here. Hello, Martin. I hope you can hear me, by the way. Please do let me know. Hello, Marissa. Hello, Pia. Hello, Jason. Hello, Salad Fogo. Hello, Nilf. Hello, Combative Dissident. I think that's everyone so far. Hello, Tedotto. The LTN. Hey, sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late today, but yeah, just trying to I don't know, sort out technical things. The past couple of weeks, my screen has been like disconnecting, and it did that earlier, and it's kind of like made me nervous. But yeah, so I'm a bit tired today actually, because yeah, just not been getting much sleep. But I think I'm all right. I think I'll be okay. And I've got a vigil tomorrow morning as well, so yeah, I'll probably need a nap after that. But yeah, my dog has, to put it politely, my dog has an upset stomach at the moment, so she's been waking me up in the night to go outside for her business. Yeah, it's not been fun, but oh well, we soldier on. Hello, Ben. So I hope you've all been enjoying the weather, by the way. You can kind of see, like, I've got a kind of like a tan line from where I wear a watch at work, which is pretty cool. I've been getting the sun. Yeah, I love it. I don't know. I mean, it is hot, and like the sun's been very intense here in the UK. Yeah, it's too warm for the onesie today. Excuse me. But I don't know, man. I just love the sun. I feel like I really thrive in hot weather. I just can't get enough of it. I really love it. But yeah, it just makes me want to like jump in. I work with animals, so it makes me want to like get in the paddling pool with the ducks or jump in the mud wallow with the pigs. So yeah, I need a little pool for myself. Right, so let's have a look. I need to pin a message of similar to what Louis did. First off, I've got like some rules and stuff I think I'm gonna put with the link, just to remind people not to spam and things like that. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, maybe it'll make a difference, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm being muted. Oh no. I have got some new emojis. Ben, I was actually trying to figure out how to add them before I went live. I've done it before, so I know how to do it, but I couldn't remember. So I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT. I feel so yeah, I don't know. I was looking, I was like in my settings and everything, so I've got 4 new emojis actually that Ben kindly made for me. But yeah, I was trying to do it. I could do it now, but yeah, I don't want to take up loads of time. Yeah, and it kind of looks like I've got like a love bite on my neck, but it isn't. Just saying, it like I got bitten, and I've been like scratching it and stuff. So yeah, just so everyone knows. I mean, I don't know why I'm I don't know why I'm declaring that, but yeah, I just don't want I don't want people to think. Well, you can think it if you want. I don't know. What's it matter? Um, and uh, and yeah, I've got a. It does look like a hickey. See, I've been saying that, and it started bleeding actually before I came on, and I was like, oh my god, it's really noticeable. But then I like cleaned it, and it's gone. It's gone a bit. I mean, you can't see if I'm facing forward anyway. So, and I've got a can of cider. I don't really drink, but like I got home from work, and I was just like, fuck it. I need something cold and fruity, and yeah, you can't really drink on TikTok live, so I'm gonna have to be like, don't look at the alcohol, kids. Right. Anyway, where am I? Go live on YouTube. Check. Confirm. Guests can hear me. Check. YouTube is. Greet people. Hello, everybody. Check. And yeah, mods. Yeah. So, right. I've got this. Yeah. So mod wise, I'm gonna pin something when I link the live. Please keep the chat respectful and welcoming for everybody. Spamming, trolling, or disruptive behaviour will result in a timeout. Comments containing offensive or abusive language will be removed. Repeat offenders will also be timed out. So yeah, I feel like that's all we need really. So yeah, any mods that you don't have to be all mod heavy and stuff like that, but just bear in mind when I say spamming, trolling, just like disruptive behavior, like people who are putting multiple messages, time that shit out. And then offensive or abusive language, I don't mind, like, oh, the host is has eye bags or whatever. Here we go, we've got a good example here. Matthew, so attention seeking like this is fine if it's just the one off. We'll leave him because he's putting some nice vegan meat emojis. Obviously it's vegan meat because no animals were exploited for those emojis, but he's done it again, so maybe we'll see if he does it again, and then we'll put him in a time. Oh, here we go. So yeah, first one, you're going in a timeout. Congratulations. Let's do 24 hours. I don't know what that achieves. Right. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't think. What am I saying? Yeah. So what I was saying was, oh man, I've got brain rot today. What was I saying? If people, oh yeah, offensive language, abusive language. If it's like, oh, Jem has, I don't know, eye bags. Somebody said I had eye bags recently. But if it's something like that, or like, oh, meat, yummy, then that's fine. But yeah, if it's like racist or sexist or homophobic or like hate speech or that shit, yeah, we don't want that. So delete it. If they repeat, then they can be timed out. My name is not short for Jamantha. Is that actually a name? My name is short for Gemma. But what am I saying? Oh yeah, but it is still spelt with a J. You look 10 years younger. Do you know my real age, Ben? I'm going to be 33 this year. I was born in 1993. So I look 23. Well, that's pretty good actually. I got ID'd last yesterday when I brought these nice fruity ciders. So yeah, that can't. I don't mind that. You know you're not young anymore when you get excited about getting ID'd. Why are you vegan? Because I respect animals. I don't want to exploit them. I wouldn't want to be exploited. They don't want to be exploited, and it's needless. So yeah, basically. Right, anyway, without further ado, let's stop dilly-dallying. We can go live now, and I'm gonna put the link to join. Hang on, let me just check. Everyone can still see me. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to put the link for everyone to join. So yeah, anyone on YouTube who wants to have a conversation, let's yeah, come on and we'll have a chat about it. So yeah, I've got Why Aren't You Vegan? Let me get the link now actually. TikTok. Let's see. Oh. Okay. So oh shit. I've gone off it. Right, here we go. So to join the live, here we go. Right, I'm just pasting this link. Oh, you know what? It's too hot. My fingers are sticky. I can't like copy and paste stuff. Here we go. Copy, paste. I want to find a woman like Jem. There are plenty of women like me. Just got to look for a vegan woman. Oh shit! I can't even pin a comment that long. Ugh, that's frustrating. So, can I pin more than one message on YouTube? Hey VSL, I listened to your live stream earlier when I was working. Your live stream from yesterday, I mean. Oh, this is really annoying. Okay, so yeah, I've got a message that I wanted to pin with some rules about spamming, about what kind of language I tolerate, etc. But it's too many characters. That's annoying. Right, let me put. I'll just. Oh, for God's sake. Right, where's my link for my live stream? We will get going very, very soon. To join the live, please follow this link. Okay. And then animals are delicious. Zuni Warrior Dog, why don't we have a chat about it? Yeah, regardless of what your opinion is, do you think that I mean in terms of taste, do you think that pleasure justifies an action when there's a victim? No, that's annoying. Right, I'm just gonna pin the link now to join the live. I'm just wondering. I'm gonna pin this. I'm just wondering if I can pin more than one message. No, to join the. Please keep the chat respectful. Yeah, that's really annoying. Will result in a timeout. Also be removed. Oops. Everything's taking like longer than usual because I can't operate my mouse pad at the moment. Oh, yeah, I can only pin one message, so yeah. Oh well. Maybe I'll try and like make a shorter version with the link for the TikTok. So yeah, we are live. Yeah, basically I'm here to have conversations with people about why they are not vegan. If you're not vegan, you can request to join on up. Just tap the request button and we'll have a chat about it. I just want to find out more about your morals, yeah, what your belief system is, and to see if you're consistent with that. Yeah, I'm not here for debate style. So yeah, if you're coming up here just to defend your position without being open to learning anything new or reconsidering your position, I'm not really interested in having a conversation. Yeah, it's just, I know some people enjoy debating and stuff, but yeah, that's not why we're here. Um, uh, so yeah. Um, oh yeah, and make sure you only request if you're over 18. So until we get requests, oh, we actually have one now. I was gonna say, um, I'll speak to the comment section. Hey
Hello.
Julia, hey, are you over 18?
Yes,
Perfect. Are you vegan?
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay, sure. What's your understanding of veganism? What do you think it means to be vegan?
Um, like not to wear any animal products or eat any animal products.
Yeah, so that's a consequence of being vegan. So, veganism, the definition is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. So, everything that we do as a result of that is like a consequence of being vegan, if that makes sense. So, yeah, like you said, we wouldn't wear like any animal skin, we wouldn't use products that are tested on animals, um, consume anything that comes out of them, use them for entertainment, anything that's exploitative basically. um
Mm-hmm.
so do you think that we should respect other animals?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think that we can truly respect them if we are exploiting them? And by exploiting, I mean using them against their interests for our own selfish purposes.
Um, no.
No. Okay. So, based on the fact that you think that we should be respecting other animals and it's not respectful to exploit them, do you feel there's anything preventing you from going vegan and living in alignment with your morals?
I think no. I mean, the thing that's really difficult for me is I have a dog
Mm,
and like for example, I feel like dogs are carnivores, right? And so I struggle
mm-mm,
because I'm like, should
mm-mm.
I be feeding her plants or or would that be unethical because she's kind of made to eat meat, right?
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
no, no. I can relate to this because I also have a dog. So yeah, basically, dogs are omnivorous. So they can eat both plants and flesh. My dog is plant based. There is evidence out there actually. You can look up. I think there's a paper by Dr. Andrew Knight. He did a study on whether a plant based diet can be healthy and nutritious for dogs. So the thing is with dogs, it's same as humans really. It's not like the product that they need, it's the nutrients. So as long as the food that you're giving them is complete and it's got all of their required nutrients in, then it's fine because that's what they need is the nutrients. So
Hmm.
yeah, my dog is plant based. I know lots of dogs who are plant based, they can thrive on it. I think that if you're vegan, your dog should be on a plant based diet. If they can, I know some dogs. I have a friend who they've tried their dog on a plant based diet and they just refuse to eat it. I think in some circumstances, a great solution for that would be lab grown meat, because that's not exploiting anyone. But yeah, I mean, if you wouldn't want to unalive your dog to feed them to a cow, then why unalive a cow to feed them to your dog? Because they're both
Right.
they're both like they've both got intrinsic value. That's how I view it.
Mm.
So I wouldn't want to exploit an animal on behalf of my dog, because yeah, I wouldn't be prepared to do the same to her, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, but then I wonder about like, because we domesticated dogs, and so now, like, because they would have hunted for their meat, but then we
Mm,
domesticated them, and so then, and now we're responsible for what they consume.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I find it's, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but also like my mother, she has a cat, and I heard like cats, they have to eat like more meat-based. I don't know, it's
Not
complex.
necessarily. Again, if the cat food is fortified, I think they need like taurine. But you
Hmm.
can get synthetic taurine. It's less readily available where I'm from, but I know in America that. Where are you from? Sorry.
I'm from California.
Okay. Yeah, it might be better for you then because you don't have a cat, do you? Or
My
you?
mother does, I
Oh, your mum
don't.
does.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So there are options, more options in America, but again, cats can be a little bit harder than dogs. I feel like cats are can be a little bit more
Hmm.
fussy, but that's. I mean, don't quote me on that because, yeah, somebody may correct me. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think um, if they can thrive on a plant based diet, then they should. And
Yeah.
a lot of the time, it can be healthier anyway. I mean, if you think about it, like most dog food, like all of these like brands, like the pedigree and all of this, a lot of it is food that's not even fit for human consumption. It's just like literally like the scraps from the slaughterhouse. Most
Right.
dogs, like a lot of dogs, have allergies, and a lot of those allergies are from the flesh. So yeah, it can be that dogs who consume a plant-based diet can actually live longer and be healthier, so it can be in their best interest. um, but yeah, do you feel that there's anything preventing you from being vegan? I know obviously if you are vegan you want to
Right.
sort of um, you want to apply your ethics to your dog as well because they're in your care, just like if you had kids then you would want to
Hmm.
obviously feed them a plant-based diet. But yeah, if you could be convinced and satisfied that you can feed your dog and your dog can be healthy on a plant-based diet, do you think that there's anything else that's preventing you from being vegan or anything else that's holding you back?
I mean, not necessarily. I'm trying already to be vegan, but I already found like it's difficult because, I was eating like Takis the other day, and I heard that Takis are vegan, but then I got the ranch flavor and then they weren't. And it's like they put powdered milk in like everything nowadays. And it's just, it's definitely taking more of an effort. But also, how do you feel about like secondhand fashion? Like I bought boots that were leather, but they're secondhand. So it's like, am I directly
Mm.
supporting that industry? So I'm kind of just, there's so much nuance, I feel like. And, there's like the quote unquote vegan police and people that are like very kind of um, strict about it, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you don't want to be like criticize because obviously um, there is like criticism within the vegan movement. If I understand that, but I mean, in terms of like the secondhand leather, I mean, I personally wouldn't buy that because I feel like even though you're not like directly exploiting anybody because you're not creating a demand, it's kind of I don't know. I just don't like the thought of wearing somebody else's skin. Yeah,
Hmm.
like it would like gross me out a little bit. Like if I was wearing boots that were made from like a human skin, I just wouldn't want to wear it knowing what the individual went through to make that product.
Right.
And also, I mean, the other argument is that you're advertising. If somebody like sees it and thinks, "Oh, those are nice boots," they might want to go and purchase some for themselves. But it's very, very
Right.
tricky nowadays to tell the difference between, in my opinion, like leather from animal skins and like synthetic leather. Like, yeah, so I
Hmm.
don't think that's necessarily an issue. But yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't judge somebody who's like, got a leather coat in their jacket and they brought it 20 years ago, and they're still wearing it. I would, focus more on the people who are continuing to demand that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I think the only other thing that kind of makes it difficult is, and obviously this is just out of convenience, but like family members, like I'll go to my grandparents for dinner and my grandma will get very offended if I don't eat her food. And it's like, and then, I don't know, it's just, like when I'm at home, I pretty much eat vegan, but it's like, I don't know if, yeah, that's not a great excuse, but it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I like how you said that because yeah, I had a similar thing with my family. But at the end of the day, you have to stand up for what you believe is right, and if your
Hmm.
family members were serving, I don't know, like a dog, would you then, find your voice and say, I'm not eating that, are you crazy? Like, that was an individual. Do you think
Right.
that, yeah, do you think that you'd reject that?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so when it really matters to you, you can do the right thing. So yeah, and then the only other thing that I would mention, because you said about the effort, having to check the labels and everything, because milk powder can be in a lot of things. I think that yeah, the dairy industry kind of sell it into other brands and products and things like that because, well, I heard because it's got like queso and morphine in, so it's like addictive. It keeps people coming back to consume it. But then also, yeah, obviously it's another income for the dairy industry, so it's in their best interest to get it in as many products as they can, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the effort of checking the labeling on the product and seeing if it contains vegan products is nothing compared to the inconvenience of the mother cow being raped, having her baby taken away, being milked and being used as a milk slave for 6 7 years. Sorry for any kids in the chat for saying 6 7, but yeah, it's nothing compared to that. I think that
Yeah.
checking the label is the very least that we can do. The least that we can do, considering what the alternative means for them, if that makes sense. Would you agree
Yeah.
with that?
No. No, I agree. And I mean, so when I was 15, I saw like slaughterhouse footage and all of that, and I went vegan and I didn't do it properly. Like I was just eating pasta because I was still, under my parents' care and I would just
Mm-hmm.
eat pasta and chips all day long. And like I got very thin and then I blamed the vegan diet rather than the fact that I wasn't, doing it
Yeah,
properly. And then I went
yeah.
back to consuming and I kind of just had this cognitive dissonance, I think, because I knew all I had to do was watch these animals being abused and it would make me vegan right away. But it was
Mm-hmm.
so traumatic for me to watch that like that's why, like, to stay motivated, I feel like I need to be aware, but at the same time, it's so awful to watch that type of footage. So I don't know how to explain it, but how do you, like, how do you stay motivated, I guess, without like over traumatizing yourself because it's
Yeah,
overwhelming.
I I watch everything. To be honest, when I went vegan, I had like a week where I kind of consumed so much horrific footage, and it was traumatizing. I think it did traumatize me. Um, and every time there's an investigation, I make myself watch that because I think, if the animals had to go through that and experience that, the least that I can do is witness it, um, and know what they went through. Because, if that was me and something horrific was happening to me, I'd want everybody to see, I'd want the whole world to know what I went through so that they could, do something about it. Because, I wouldn't want people to be unaware and to be just forgotten about, and unseen.
Mhm.
So, yeah, but saying that, I do watch it with like a bit of a guard up um, because yeah, it is very traumatizing. I think that the more things that you do watch, the kind of the more desensitized you become to it. Because you know, I think that I've probably seen pretty much everything there is to see by now. So it's just like, well, you know, it's another one of those videos. I'm just exposing myself at this point to the same kind of footage. But yeah, there is that it is horrific, and I kind of watch it with a bit of a guard. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that that's really the only way to stay motivated. I mean, fair enough if you're you know, committed to living the vegan lifestyle, but I think when it's really important to watch that kind of footage is when you're having doubts, or you're thinking, oh, you know, I miss this kind of flavor, or I miss this kind of taste, or if somebody's there saying, oh, have some of this, or do you know what I mean, when you've got
Yeah.
those, if you have those temptations, I think that that's when it's really important to remind yourself. But otherwise, I don't think it's necessary. I think, yeah, if you're quite um, you know, if you're very much like aligned and you're not even considering it, then yeah, it doesn't make a difference if you watch it or not, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
this was a good discussion. Maybe we should let someone
yeah.
else talk too. Thank
I have a
you.
Hey,
couple more
Julia, can
questions
I
before
just?
you go.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
Huh?
David. I was just going to ask, so the first question was, so if you were a dairy cow or another animal being exploited on a farm destined for a slaughterhouse, how urgently would you want your injustice to end?
Right away.
Right away. So
Immediately. Yeah.
how many more individuals should be exploited on your behalf from now, do you think?
0.
Zero. So vegan
Oh,
from now?
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, really
Yeah.
appreciate that. I have got some resources. Um, yeah, I don't know if David wanted to add anything else, but yeah, in this link tree here,
Yeah, I
I've got some resources there, some documentaries, something called
Okay.
Challenge 22. So you can sign up there. Any kind of questions you've got, they'll help you out with those, like the practical side of things. Sorry, David, I'm done. You go.
Mhm.
oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to jump in, but Julia, I would just
No,
say
you're good.
like your story is just so familiar with so many others. So don't think that you're on your own. I mean, we have such a massive community of dedicated people that are changing hearts and minds. And yeah, like I would encourage you. I think you're really empathetic. You can tell that you feel bad about what's happening. And one thing you could do is actually maybe stand up and speak up for the animals. A lot of
Yeah.
us didn't ever imagine doing that ourselves, myself included.
Hmm.
But now that's pretty much all I do. But it doesn't have to be your life. But you know,
Yeah.
you can join an animal rights group. You can get involved and active and speak up for them. Even going to a sanctuary, you can see the individuals, and that can remind you rather than maybe seeing slaughterhouse footage or something like that. So
Yeah.
and just the other thing is Jem touched on it. It's like we're not perfect, right? We're living in a weird, strange world that this is normalized. So when you
Hmm.
do go out to buy the product and you're like, shit, there's dairy in it, like just like be, you know what, like cognizant of that and be like, you know what, next time I'm just gonna check the label. I'm gonna make sure that it's not in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can just go with that and lead with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, last
Absolutely.
point. I just want to
Yeah.
say, Julia, so it things may seem like overwhelming at first, but honestly, that goes after like 2 weeks. You don't even have to check labels once you've gotten used to like what
Hmm.
products you're enjoying and things like that. Obviously, it's good to check in case they change the recipe, but what I'm trying to get at is, yeah, it's only um, difficult. Like, I mean, it's barely difficult, but it's only really the first couple of weeks that you're getting used to, you know, different habits and things like that, that you really have to like, um, yeah, you have to put effort in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's
After
actually
that,
one
it's
thing I
just your
want.
lifestyle. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, one thing I thought about actually, my dog recently had surgery because she tore a ligament in her leg, and they gave her all these pain meds and they put her under, and like, they cared so much about how, like, what she was going through, and you know, they gave me all these antibiotics and pain meds, and then I think about these animals that are in like these slaughterhouses and that are in factory farms, and they're just, no one cares about their health. And it's like, how do we, like my dog, you know, we spend thousands on her, and like she gets princess treatment and all of these things, but then these animals have like, no one cares, there's just no regard. It's crazy. And that just made me think a lot about it when she went into surgery, but it's off
and
topic. But
and
yeah.
as
Yeah.
it should, though. I mean, that's how you should feel. I mean, we look at them as commodities, quite literally
Yeah.
as commodities. We stack them in these trucks as if they're like objects, and we chuck them into a slaughterhouse. It's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous how we treat them, and they're all individuals, every single one of them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. This was a really good discussion.
Yeah, it was really nice to talk to you, Julia. Yeah, do feel free to stay in touch. I'd love to hear how you're getting on. You know, in a week or so down the line, I'm live every week on Tuesdays, 7:30 till 10. So, yeah, be cool to stay in touch.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, awesome. Thanks again.
Bye bye.
Hello, by the way, David. Sorry, I've only just addressed you. Right, let's see. We've also got. How are you, David?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. I'm warm, but yeah, we've had like some like crazy weather. Sorry, I'll just mention this quick because I know people aren't here to listen to me ramble about the weather. But yeah, it's just started thundering, so I think there's going to be a huge storm. But it's still like really muggy here anyway. But yeah, I've
Oh,
been
that
in the
sucks.
sun all day, so
Of course,
yeah,
right? Worst timing ever, but that's the way it goes. Yeah.
yeah. And we also have Cal also. I think Cal was here last week. David was not. Unacceptable, joking. But yeah, I've kind of taken more of a relaxed approach on the live stream. So what I said last week was I will still ask if anyone wants to add anything else at the end of a conversation, but if you feel that I could do with some help, or if you have like a itch to say something before then that's cool also. So yeah, just wanted to
Cool.
say that.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So I'm gonna get I'll go ahead and get the next one. I don't know if this is a vegan because he's called London Plants, and some
Yeah,
vegans have
he's
plants in
vegan.
their names like me.
Hey,
Okay,
what's up?
cool. Hey, London, you alright?
Yeah, how
We
you
haven't
doing?
spoken
I
before,
just
have we?
we haven't. No. I've seen your lives a few times. Just wanted to introduce myself. I hang out with
Oh,
like
sweet.
Keith and VSL and stuff like that. So yeah, we never met.
Ah,
So I just
oh
yeah.
yeah, I do know you actually from listening to VSL's lives because
Okay,
I hear her
cool.
say your name. So yeah,
Right on.
yeah, cool. Are you happy chilling there on the panel? You're welcome to jump in and yeah, make any points that you want to
Yeah, I appreciate that.
during the
I'd love to.
debates. Or okay, cool. All right, I'm going to carry on going ahead and accepting people. Next, we have Omen. Hey, are you over 18?
No, I'm 23. I'll be 24 in July.
Okay, awesome. So, just to clarify what veganism is, Omen,
I know what
what's your
veganism is.
understanding? Yeah, so what's your understanding of like the definition?
Right. I don't think that's really going to be sufficient towards the conversation we have. I'd like to know the moral wrongness
What?
Answer the
to like.
No,
question,
the
please.
the conversation is literally about veganism. Before you answer this, we need to make sure we're on the same page of what it is, because a lot of people don't understand it. They have misconceptions. So what is veganism? Or I'm dropping you.
I can tell you, speaking to this person is going to be a colossal waste of time already.
A colossal waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Interesting.
give you a
Yeah.
chance. Omen,
Sure.
what's
So
veganism?
I guess veganism, what I take it to be, I just take it to be the case that veganism is going to be a subsequent of moral wrongness that is tied to animals' lives.
Yeah, so the definition is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. So we don't consume them or anything that comes out of them, wear their body parts, use them for entertainment, or anything else where we can avoid doing so. So do you think that we should respect other animals?
I don't think that there's a respect line for amoral agents.
That's
Sorry?
obviously not a response to the question that she just asked you, obviously.
It was a response, whether
Yeah.
you like
Do
it or not. It
you
was.
do you think we should respect other animals? Is it yes or
I don't
no?
think there's I don't think that there's respect for amoral agents. So no.
You don't think we should respect other animals?
For amoral agents, no.
Why?
You can grant them
What do you mean
courtesy.
for? Why
I don't
would you
think that
grant them
they're
courtesy
entitled.
and not respect? Why
Right?
not?
Like,
Because they're moral
do you understand what
patients and not
courtesy
moral
is?
agents?
Do you understand
No.
what courtesy
What do you mean
is?
by
Like
that?
courtesy isn't.
No. What
Notice
do you
how
mean
he
by
didn't
that?
respond to he didn't respond to your question. He asked you a question in response. This is what he does.
I did
He's just
respond
a
to the question. I said no.
This guy's just a little sophist, by the way. He's a complete waste of time.
Yeah. Okay. Give me the premise line as to
Yeah.
why it's wrong to unalive another human or unalive animals.
Notice
What's
how
the moral
he
premise?
notice how
Yeah,
he keeps
that's-
trying to
that's-
shift the conversation and ask you questions. That's what
I'm
he
not
does.
shifting the conversation.
Yeah,
You just sit there
that's-
and say that I haven't answered your questions.
I
when
mean,
have.
you are, Omen, because you're asking us questions when you're not willing to answer questions yourself. And also, that's a misrepresentation of the argument. We're not talking about unaliving animals, we're talking about exploiting them, which is why it was so important to define what veganism is, but I don't even think you listened to that.
Exploiting
We're talking
animals.
about
How are
animal
animals being
exploitation.
He won't engage. I've debated this guy before, by the way. He won't engage with anything you say. He's a
You've
fucking
never
waste.
debated me. I have no idea
He's
who
a
you are.
complete fucking waste
Quit
of
trying
time.
to get me kicked off the panel because you think that you're going to lose this debate.
I'm trying to get you
It's
kicked
kinda
off because
sad.
you're a
It's
colossal
a
waste
little
of
Yeah,
time to
sad.
speak to.
I'm not
You
gonna lie. I've
engaged
never
with
met
me
you a day in my life.
in the same way that you did with Lettuce right now. You're a complete waste of time. You're a child.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
per your
you've-
own
you've-
opinion.
No, you're
Okay,
objectively
sorry,
a
I'm
child.
getting-
Objectively,
Yeah, sorry, I got bored of that. I mean, again, the fact that he came up here calling it a debate with like that kind of like debate attitude, yeah, I'm not really for it because I think people who come up onto a panel with like a debate kind of attitude, they're there to defend their position, and they just they dig their heels into a position without being willing to concede on certain points because they think, oh, I'm here to defend this, so I'm going to do this in any way that I can. They're not open-minded to like consider other positions, concede to be wrong about certain things. So I don't think it's worth it. But Omen, if you hang around, if there's no more requests, I might come back to you if I'm feeling nice. But
Yeah, he's saying laughing my ass off in the comments. Like I said, sorry, I didn't want to interject there, but I have engaged with that person
It's
in
all right.
debate, and he just evades questions, prevaricates, obfuscates, and then tries to like turn the conversation around on you and ask you questions. He's a colossal waste of time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Omen, like I said, stick around. There's plenty of other people. I'm just not here for like a debate style conversation, really. I'm here for like an honest conversation where people are willing to change their not change their moral framework, because I'm trying to kind of identify what that is, but yeah, willing to have an open discussion basically. So but yeah, I'm going to move on, and again I might come back to you. We've got next John. Hey John, are you over 18? I see it's loading. Just if you could confirm when you're sorry. Say yes.
I'm over 18.
Hello? Oh, sorry. I think there was a bit of a delay there. Okay, so what's your understanding of veganism, John?
Well, could you please just tell me so that I don't get it wrong?
Yeah, it's okay to get it wrong. I just wanted to know what your like current like conception, your current like understanding was. But yeah, I can tell you. So it's the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. So of course that means we don't consume them or anything that comes out of them. where we can avoid doing so. We don't wear their skins, use them for entertainment, for testing. So we just avoid exploiting them. And by exploiting them, I mean using them in a way that goes against their interests. So yeah, do you think that we should respect other animals?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And do you think that it's possible to truly respect them if we are exploiting them?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Okay. So it's possible to respectfully exploit them, so to use them against their interests, just to clarify.
No, not against their interests, but still use
But
them.
that's what I mean by exploitation. So I explained what I meant by exploitation. So using them in a way that goes
Oh, right.
against their
Well,
interests
well, in that case,
for
then
our
no.
selfish purposes. Okay, so it's not possible to respectfully exploit them.
Not based
No?
on the definition that you gave there, but I still think we can use them.
Yeah, so no, we're talking about exploitation. So when I say using them in a way that goes against their interests, obviously they don't want to be unalive to be eaten. It's for our selfish purposes because it's unnecessary. Again, they don't want to be exploited for their skin, their breast milk. All of this is unnecessary to be used for entertainment. Again, unnecessary. So yeah, that's what I mean by exploitation. So you don't think it's possible to respectfully exploit them, is that correct?
Not based on the definition that you gave.
Okay. So based on the fact that you agree that we should respect other animals and that it's not respectful to exploit them, do you feel there's anything preventing you from being vegan and living in alignment with your morals?
Well, yeah, in line with my morals, but in terms of your morals, no.
Yeah.
There isn't anything stopping me.
No, your morals, John, because you've said
Oh,
that we
well,
should respect other animals and you've said that it's not respectful to exploit them, right? So these are your morals. So is there anything
Right, but
preventing you from being vegan and living in alignment with what your morals are?
yes, because I don't think it's particularly healthy to live that way.
You don't think what's healthy?
What do you mean by healthy?
Yeah, what
Well,
don't you think's healthy
what I mean by healthy,
and why?
Well, what does he actually mean by healthy? Because that sounds kind of opaque.
well, yeah, I suppose it would be, but does that mean that I can't elaborate on the moral issue?
Yeah, but we're just wondering what you mean by healthy, because if your moral thesis is tethered to the idea that we ought not be vegan because it's not healthy, then what do you mean by healthy? Because that's very peculiar to say.
Well, I mean the way that humans should exist.
Yeah, but that's a normative claim. You said that your moral thesis is we ought not be vegan because it's not healthy. I'm just querying what you mean by healthy.
I'm not saying we, I'm saying I, because morality is subjective.
Yeah, but we're not talking about meta-ethics. You said that it's not healthy to be a vegan, so I'm just wondering what you mean by healthy.
Right, okay, and can you tell me like what meta-ethics is?
I mean, that's perpendicular to the conversation. Currently, I'm just querying what you mean by what,
Right, well,
when you use the term.
I don't know what that means. So
Okay, well, it's not relevant to the conversation. It's a concept.
I wouldn't know that until you elaborate.
Okay, cool. Well, the concept that you're invoking is perpendicular to the conversation. Currently, what I'm querying
Yeah,
is.
but you're just asking me to trust you. Can you
Good
not
Lord, man!
elaborate?
I'm not. Good Lord, man! I'm asking you to. I'm asking you to elucidate a term that you invoked. What do you mean by healthy?
Well, I'm not too sure like how to define that specifically.
So when you say that veganism's not healthy, you don't even know what that means?
Well, if I go down any particular route and make any claim, okay, you'll provide counter evidence to that, and we'll just go round in circles.
This just seems disingenuous. It just seems like you're refusing to elucidate some term that you invoked. So when you say that veganism isn't healthy, can you even tell me what that means or no?
No, I suppose not.
Well, then it's just a vacuous assertion, isn't it? It doesn't mean anything. It's just like saying veganism is glish and glosh and flig and flagon. It doesn't mean anything.
Right, so does that mean that discussing the morality is out of the question now?
Yeah, sure, we can discuss the morality, but your claim was you don't think that there's a sort of moral obligation to be vegan because it's not healthy. And currently, that's something that you failed miserably to substantiate or even explicate in any kind of comprehensible way. So, anyway, we can move forward accordingly.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
like, if
I'll be generous and I mean, what if I was to tell you that the largest organization of dietitians and nutritionists in the world, they say that a plant-based diet can be healthy and nutritious for all life stages. So yeah, they've looked at all of the studies, they've looked at all of the data we have, and that's what they've determined, John. So your statement that it's not healthy to be vegan is untrue. Obviously, you can be unhealthy and be vegan, but you can also be healthy and be vegan if you're consuming all of your required nutrients and calories, just as you can be healthy and not vegan, and you can be unhealthy and not vegan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, cool. So yeah, back to the original question. So is there anything preventing you from being vegan and living in alignment with your morals?
Wait, am I not going to be allowed to ask about the morality?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the answer to my question is, because we've been through what your morals are, right? You said that we should respect other animals, and you said that it's not respectful to exploit them. So I asked those to get an idea of where your morality already lies, and now we're talking about applying your actions to your morals.
Right, okay, but my own health is anecdotal, and that
Right.
probably doesn't serve well within this discussion.
Okay. What do you mean by that? Are you saying you've been vegan and you weren't well, or what's your claim?
No, just consuming plants within what would be classed as a balanced diet. That was causing an issue.
Right, so a balanced diet means that you're getting a balance of all the nutrients that you need. It doesn't mean getting a balance of certain products.
Yeah,
It
no,
means getting a
I
balance of
understand
all
that, but I don't know what
nutrients.
else
It
to
doesn't matter where
call it.
you get them from. Well, a plant-based diet
What
can
would
be
you call the
balanced,
normal
just
diet?
as. What do you mean the normal diet? Like an omnivorous diet?
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Just that. So you acknowledge you can be healthy on a plant-based diet, correct?
Well, based on what you've said so far, but
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have all of
you
this
can.
research myself.
I mean, the good thing is that you don't need to go through all of the research, because the Academy of Nutritionists and Dietitians have done that for us. So they're like the dietetic consensus.
So I should just blindly
So they've
trust them.
taken all of the data. Well, yeah, of course. Who else are you going to trust? They're the experts on the topic.
Also,
Who else would you trust other than the experts?
Also, when you say blindly, like
Sorry,
blind
go
trust
ahead.
is just. I was just going to say blind trust by definition is just when somebody tells you something, you subscribe to it ad infinitum. If that's underpinned by mountains of research, that's not blind trust, that's justified trust.
Right, but only if I verify the research myself.
Do you know how to interpret scientific research?
I would assume probably at least half of scientific research I could interpret.
Okay, do you know what a scientific counterfactual is?
No.
Do you know how to generate a hazard ratio?
Nope.
Then you don't know rudimentary features of scientific research. So there's no point you trying
right, but that's
to
not
adjudicate.
necessarily true. Okay,
So there's
because
no point.
I might understand the concept.
It's necessarily true because we just demonstrated that a moment ago. So there's no point you trying to independently verify the scientific research, because reading it, you wouldn't understand any of it.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because
Well,
I don't know.
The terms that I just said to you a moment ago are literally level 1 rudimentary features of scientific research.
Right,
So if you don't understand that, You're not going to understand relative risk reduction. You're not going to understand things like baseline risk. You're not going to understand concepts like confounding, collider bias, selection biases, particular research specific cognitive biases. You're not going to understand any of these things, so you don't need to verify it because you won't be able to understand it.
Right, but just because I don't know
Well, let's
the
say,
specific name of these practices doesn't mean I don't understand the practice itself.
okay, John, let's say that you're going to go away and you're going to learn about all of this scientific data and you're going to do all of this research and come to your own conclusion, right? Are you going to stop exploiting animals in the meantime? Because at the moment, your actions are as if to say that consuming animals is, or let's say consuming a plant-based diet isn't healthy, right? But you're already acting in that way. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to put it into like an analogy here. If I said I've got a red pill and a blue pill, and you said, well, I don't know which is the one to take, so I need to go away and do all of this research, but until I come to the conclusion, I'm going to carry on taking the blue pill. That makes no sense, right? Because surely you should abstain from taking that, which is the safe option, because no one's being exploited in the process before you determine which
Well,
pill to take.
why is it safe?
Am I
Because
making
nobody's been
sense?
exploited.
What do you mean? Why is it safe? Because
It might not
let's
necessarily be
say,
safe for me.
okay, but yeah, but you're coming to those conclusions, right? So let's say, for example, let's say it takes you a month to interpret all of this data, right? And you're exploiting animals every day for a month, and at the end of the month you find out, wow, so it is unnecessary. I can be healthy and I can thrive on a plant-based diet. So all of these animals that I've exploited for the past month, I've done that needlessly. So what I'm asking is, why don't you abstain from doing that for a month, right? Nothing's going to happen to you until you determine which is the
Right, well, I don't think that's true because from my own experience, I have had issues.
So what are you saying? You've been on a plant-based
What was your
diet?
vegan diet like, just out of interest?
No, I didn't have a vegan diet. I mean the consumption of vegetables and grains.
Well, how would you know unless you were solely consuming those things for a particular amount of time?
Well, because when I eliminated them, I became better.
So correlation, therefore
Right, but there was
causation.
also
That
a
makes
lot
sense.
of other,
Well,
yeah, there's a lot
not
of other
therefore
factors.
causation, but in my own experience, then I'm going to continue using that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we've been through the science. I've told you what the science says.
Well, we haven't
I don't know why
been
you
through the
need to
science.
verify it for
You've
yourself.
told me the end result.
Can I ask one
Well,
question real
the
quick?
Academy of Nutritionists and Dietitians have been through it. So, yeah, it kind of seems that if you're denying the science, you're denying them, the experts. So yeah, until you accept that, I don't feel that we can go any further. So if anyone else wants to take over.
Right, so that means no discussion of morality.
I have a question actually, John. Have you ever injected heroin at all?
No?
Yeah, so like the scientific research says that injecting heroin is really bad for you. So do you just like disagree?
Well, I'm not sure because I haven't looked into
You're
it. but-
not sure if injecting heroin's bad for you? That's insane.
Well, I haven't looked at it.
Wait, so you're currently unclear whether like me giving my, let's say that I had a daughter who was like 3 years old. So if I just inject heroin into her veins every single night, you don't think that there's a higher probability that she'll have poor health outcomes rather than if I didn't do that?
But again, based on what I've seen in the media, then that would be bad.
That's just blind trust though.
Right, but I'm not acting upon that. I'm
Wait.
not consuming heroin.
Wait,
okay?
so just to be clear though, you are unclear whether me giving my hypothetical 3-year-old daughter heroin every single night, you're unclear whether that would be healthy or not.
Well, yes, because I don't know the science behind it.
Okay.
I only know the media representation.
John, so
Landon, did you want to
if
say
you if
something?
you did, yeah, if you found out that you can thrive on a plant-based diet, would you then want to go on a plant-based diet and stop using animals?
Yeah.
Okay, then you should definitely look into it because there's a lot of information out there. You can actually talk to nutritionists and dietitians on a website called veganeasy.org. It's very, very simple to go to. So if you think that unnecessary exploitation is wrong, and you know, if you found out that it was healthy, then look into it, right? Wouldn't that be like the responsible adult thing to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, go to veganeasy.org. I'd recommend watching a documentary called Dominion that shows what you're paying for. It's standard practice in animal agriculture. So check out
Hang on a
some
minute. Are you
information
trying
there.
to direct me to watch videos of slaughtering?
I mean, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
all right. I've killed animals myself. That's fine.
I
mean,
knew it.
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to say I knew that he was a farmer.
Okay,
I'm not a
like,
farmer.
Well, I don't
And-
all right,
understand. So wait,
I still
because you've unalived animals, you can't watch you
Well, it's
it,
not I can. I just don't see the point.
because you're seeing it from a
well,
different perspective.
yeah,
Just
you'd be able to ask yourself if you're wanting to pay for something like that. And if the answer is no, then you can stop.
yeah,
Just out
and
of interest, if you yourself have killed animals, like why would you want to be a vegan if it was healthy though? It just seems peculiar to say.
Well, because I wouldn't have a reason not to be if it was healthy.
Yeah, but just out of interest though, like you obviously don't morally value animals in any way, so why would you be motivated to be a vegan?
Well, I don't think in any way. I don't think it's good to make them suffer.
Yeah, but why don't you think it's good to make them suffer? Because you've killed them yourself.
Yeah, but I've done it very quickly.
Yeah, but just out of interest, like why is it, if it's wrong to make an animal suffer, but it is okay to take their life, how does that make any sense?
Well, because that's it. They haven't suffered.
Yeah, but that's
Like,
completely circular. The question is, why is it wrong to make an animal suffer if it's okay to take their life? Let's just say that I kidnap your mother and I make her suffer, or I take her life. Is taking her life like way, way better than making her suffer?
yes.
Okay.
yeah, I was
Well,
just
because
gonna
then
add
then
to
she doesn't feel pain.
I was just gonna add to the point as well, John. You say you've unalived animals before, but you know you probably maybe I mean I don't know you, but you know you might not know every single practice within all of the industries that exploit animals. You know, like within the egg industry, it's not just about them being unalived; it's about everything that goes on there. But yeah, you've
Yeah,
been
and I
here for
disagree with those practices, but not
okay.
the actual, like, not when the
What
animal,
practices? Sorry.
the practices of like cage farming, like
Okay. Why do you
extreme
disagree with?
confinement,
Why do you disagree with that?
because the animals suffer.
Okay, so you're against causing unnecessary suffering onto other animals,
Yes.
but you don't think that they suffer when they go to the slaughterhouse.
Well, no, I do, because that would also be within, that would be a stressful environment for them. I'm saying
Yeah.
being shot in the back of the head and dying almost instantly.
What you don't think? Wait. So, yeah, you know when the cows go to the slaughterhouse, you don't think they suffer. Like when they're there, you don't think they are terrified, anxious.
Well, no, I do, but I mean animals in the wild that were living for one moment and then the next they're taken out of existence.
Oh, so are you a hunter? What What are you
Yeah, I suppose
talking
you could say
about?
that. Yeah. Well,
So
yes, I'm
you
talking about hunting.
Okay, but so do you only consume animals that you hunt? You don't like purchase any animal products from the supermarket, or you don't consume anything else other than the animals who you've pew-pewed.
Well, no, I have done. I have done before.
Okay, but you don't now.
No.
Okay, So you only eat. So who do you pew pew? So this is TikTok,
Well, it would
and
be it's mainly deer.
so you only eat deers for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
No, I only eat deer for my animal products.
Right. Okay. So you don't consume dairy. You don't eat eggs. You only eat deer and plants.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Um.
John, can I just ask, is it fair to say that since you've taken lives that you don't view them in the same way maybe before when you first took a life? Like, bring us through the first time you took a life and what that felt like for you.
Um, I wouldn't say I felt much at all. It would be fishing probably. It would be the first time.
So you can't remember that first time?
No, it's not. I can't remember that first time. Well, I suppose I can't remember the first time, but it was probably fishing.
So it was probably, so you can't remember, right?
No, I can't remember.
So I'm going to assume it was you were probably fairly young.
Yes.
So the idea of viewing animals with sort of like this kindness and respect or empathy, I'm going to guess that you just didn't view them that way from a young age, possibly as a coping mechanism with that kind of respect and kindness that they might deserve, right? I'm I'm going to assume that that's maybe why you're having this lack of empathy for them.
No, I don't see an issue with them dying.
Well, you don't because you killed them, right? Or sorry, you unalived them,
Right, but I
right?
wasn't forced to do this.
Oh, if you were brought up as a child and this was normalized to you, of course you were forced to do it. Absolutely.
So wait, John, you don't think they suffer when they have like a bullet into their body, and like and
Well, it,
and
it can't it can't be for very long.
right, okay, but you said you're against suffering. You didn't say I'm against suffering if it lasts more than a certain amount of time. And like, what if they have family members? What if they have like children who are dependent on them? Do
Oh,
you
right,
think that they
right. This is
suffer?
this is the morality. Right. Okay. So if they have family members,
Hmm.
so does that mean that these animals are capable of observing the world the same way that we do?
If they're capable of what? Sorry.
Observing the world the same way that we do? Like
Not, no.
the
I mean,
ability.
I don't observe the world the same way as you do, John. But if you've unalived a mother who has young relying on her, they don't have to observe the same way, the world the same way as we do in order to suffer. Like, I don't understand what your point is.
My point is that if they can even conceive these ideas,
You
like if
don't.
an animal's by itself
Hmm?
and I take its life and there's no other relatives able to witness this,
But how do you
then
know? How do you know what relatives they have?
Also, what study have you done on animal neurophysiology? Like, how do you know what perceptive faculties they have? Because I've actually studied this diligently.
all right, well then could you just tell me then?
Well, you just said a moment ago, you don't think that they have the capacity to have these experiential faculties. Is that based on some kind of like academic intrigue on your part, or are you just kind of inventing this idea in your head?
Well, right, I'm inventing it in my head then.
I knew that you were, yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what's wrong with what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how you quantify perception and consciousness. In fact, there's a whole subcategory of philosophy devoted solely to this. And when you actually look at a physicalist framework of consciousness, which is largely what neuroscience endeavors to study the mechanics of. But yeah, their perceptive faculties are actually quite sophisticated. They can actually navigate life in a way that's not that disanalogous from the way that we do.
So are they capable of considering the future and making plans?
I don't think that there's any way to do that, but they certainly have ways to have inductive justifications for beliefs and act accordingly on them, which is the way that logically that term is usually cashed out. Like understanding the future is usually cashed out in terms of, having priors on some state of affairs and then being able to calculate risk on future interactions with it or something. But yeah, animals have resoundingly demonstrated that propensity for sure.
So there's no animals that don't fall into the category of just like operating based off of like I don't know how to put it other than like simple circuitry, like just instinct.
Yeah, but John, can I just say, like, do you ever have trouble going to a restaurant and you look at a menu and you're like, I don't know what I want to choose? Like, for us being so freaking sophisticated, why can't we just figure it out that innocent animals just don't want to be taken, their lives, they value their lives. They want to live, right? That's all that should matter. And Jem was alluding to that earlier.
But if they don't know that they're going to die, then
But they do want to live.
So what about like a grape pill? Like if she doesn't know she's going to be graped, it's the same kind of mindset.
Yeah, what if we just find some like severely cognitively disabled humans and they don't know they're going to die? Can I just execute them? Because that would be insane.
well, the suffering would take part on the family members if you were to do
That-
that.
that
If they're not
does-
capable of.
Okay, well, let's just say that we find an isolated cognitively disabled person, and let's just say that they've been brought up in the wild, kind of like a Mowgli from the Jungle Book, George of the Jungle kind of situation, only they're mentally disabled. And they don't have any family members that care about them, apart from other animals, actually, that they've sort of grown up with and navigated life alongside. Like, would you be okay with me just executing this kind of socially disconnected, mentally disabled person if they don't know they're going to die?
Well, it depends on their current
It
state of living.
depends.
Yeah. So, like, if I think, let's say somebody is effectively a vegetable, and like their life is very poor, then that
Yeah.
might be a blessing to them.
If
But-
someone's a vegetable, it means that they're not conscious. It means that they don't have the ability to perceive life and process. What I'm asking is, say that we have somebody,
What, are you just talking about somebody of lower intelligence?
yeah, somebody that has like a symmetrical level of intelligence to like a common farm animal. Is it cool with you
Alright,
if I
okay.
just, yeah, is it cool with you if I just unalive them if they don't know they're going to die?
No, because that's a human.
Oh, so what you don't value is whether something knows it's going to die. All you value is the property of being a human.
Well, because in that point, if you're able to take the life of another human without caring about them, then that means that you can never be. I could never trust you to not
course.
take my life.
Of course, the question was, well, let's just say that you had some knowledge of my psychology in the future, right? Let's just say that you had the knowledge that I could take the life of a cognitively disabled human, but I was no threat to you whatsoever. Like, would you be okay with it?
Well, I don't think that's possible, because that would mean that we would never cross paths.
Well, when you say it's not possible in what model scope?
In the sense that we would never interact ever.
Yeah, but that's not telling me it's not possible. Like the question is, let's just say that you had some like advanced knowledge of my psychological state. Let's just say that we had some advanced technology that gave you epistemic access into my mind, and you had knowledge unequivocally that I was no threat to you. Would you be okay with me taking the life of a cognitively disabled person if they didn't know they were going to die?
Yes.
Okay, man.
Yeah, I think we should move on.
Well, that fits within the definition.
Yeah, because John's been here for a while, so unless there's anything anyone else wants to say or add,
I just think it's
checked
strange
out.
that he's trying to find ways to exploit other sentient beings. Like, why are you so adamant about doing that, John?
Well, that was what was spoken about earlier, like based on my own experience.
Yeah, but why do you want to do that now? I mean, the information's out there. You can thrive on a plant-based diet. You don't
Yeah,
have
he
to use
doesn't believe
animals.
it until he checks out the data himself. He doesn't believe it.
The data he doesn't know how to read.
Right, but we don't know that necessarily. Just because I don't know the terms that you're speaking of.
So how do you know that you can thrive on a, like, what if something's going bad inside of your body right now with what you're consuming now? You don't know that.
Yeah,
So
good point.
wouldn't you want to go? Wouldn't you want to go for the something that's not exploiting other sentient beings in the process?
Well, what would I consume then? So if I have an issue with uh,
So I
the
told you,
majority,
there's a website. It's called veganeasy.org. We don't need to tell you everything you can eat. You can find the stuff out on your own. We're trying to get to the what your core belief is. And if you think that unnecessary exploitation is wrong, then you should look into what we're saying.
Yeah,
right? Okay.
should we move on? Yeah, I appreciate you coming up, John, but you've been here for a while
Right.
now.
Well,
So,
quickly.
oops, sorry. If you've got another question, just put it in the chat. I already dropped you. I feel like I recognise this person. Or I recognise their name. Joe. Joe?
Yes,
Hey, are you over 18?
I am.
Cool. Have we spoke before?
No, I comment on your videos though.
Oh, maybe that's why I recognise you. Are you vegan?
I like vegetarian, I guess.
Oh, you're vegetarian. Okay. So what's? I mean, you watch my videos.
Yes, first of all, I want to say how much I respect you and think what you guys are doing on here is just incredible. And yeah, so
Um.
I'm
Okay.
and that you deal with so many people that are ridiculous with so
Yeah,
much patience. I'm just so proud.
I appreciate that, Joe. But I really want to understand why you're not vegan. What's going on?
Yes. Well, that's why I'm calling because I want you to help me if you can.
Okay.
Because I'm vegan curious.
Okay.
So first of all, yeah, I'm over 18, and my understanding of veganism is that for ethical reasons, you do not exploit animals.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
correct.
so yeah. So
And
first of all, my
sorry,
problem
sorry, Joe.
is
Do you know? Sorry, is it Joe? Joe?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you understand what I mean by exploit? Just to clarify before we go on.
I believe I do. Yes.
Yeah, so it means to use them against their interests for our selfish purposes.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on. Sorry to
No,
interrupt.
it's good. Yeah, so my problem is that I lose my strength to be vegan when there are occasional times where I will have this desire to have like a egg McMuffin or something, and I feel that a lot of that comes from like good memories of having that with my grandpa when I was growing up. And then where my mind goes is thinking that like I could get eggs from a sustainable farm and that whole thing. And I know that you guys will be really good about like educating me on that. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing is I was really um, like dedicated vegan for like 6 years, and then I was getting blood tests, and they were telling me that I didn't have enough iron. And so I have, done the research now, and I feel like I just need to really be careful about making sure that I am combining my sources of iron with vitamin C. But those are the two things that I was calling to get your opinion on.
Sure. So I feel like before we go into that, I just want to understand. So do you feel like you should be vegan? Like you feel like veganism is like the right thing to do, but then obviously you have these other um like I don't want to call them issues, but like yeah, you have like the lack of strength, and then like the iron thing, but you feel you're aware or you feel that veganism is the right thing. Can we just clarify that before we go further?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
cool. I just wanted to check, because sometimes we'll have a conversation, we'll come up with like, some justifications, and then if the person there isn't really like motivated, or they don't think that it's the right thing to do anyway, it's kind of a waste of discussion, really. So you believe that animals deserve respect. Um, it's just those things. Um, okay, so I mean, I guess you already know a lot anyway, since you were vegan for a while. Do you feel that if you, let's say for example, I know obviously you've got like the temptations. Let's say you woke up tomorrow and either every single animal product had disappeared, or you were like bit by a bug that meant that you couldn't physically digest any animal products. So there weren't any McMuffins, there weren't any animal-based sources of iron. Do you feel like you could find a way to get all of your iron as a vegan and be healthy this time around?
Yeah, the iron thing, it's just going to be a difficult, it's going to be difficult, but I always think about what you say in your videos about like, it may be difficult for me, but like imagine the
Mm.
suffering of the animals and stuff. So yeah, that's,
Yeah, okay.
I
I
hold that.
guess, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that you understand that it's possible. And I know obviously some people have got more, some people have got it easier than others. But again, like you said, that doesn't compare to how difficult the animals have it, as a result of our choices, right? So, yeah, have you watched like Dominion and or Earthlings? Or I mean, I know you used to be vegan, so I guess you're familiar with those kind of documentaries.
Yeah, I saw Cowspiracy. I started to watch Dominion and yeah, it's gut-wrenching. I know.
Yeah,
I know. And the thing is, I know I need to do it too, but it's like part of me that feels like if I just have this one sandwich, it's not going to be the end of the world, but I hate being that way.
yeah, but it will be the end of someone's world.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That's the thing, because this is what I was talking about earlier with another guest on the panel. I think that it can be easy to forget the victims when we don't connect with them, and we don't like
Yep.
really look at what they're experiencing. So as hard as they are, I think that we have a duty to watch them, especially if you're having like these urges, because the very least that we can do if we're going to demand that somebody's exploited is to know exactly what they went through, to know how they felt, to put ourselves in their position, rather than kind of like turning a blind eye, and to make it easier for ourselves to go out and purchase that and create a demand for it, right? And I think that will make your life a lot easier, to be honest, Joe, because when I went vegan, I was saying this earlier as well. So sorry to be like a like repeating myself in case you were here earlier, but when I or like before I went vegan, I consumed so much footage. I absolutely traumatized myself over like the course of a week. I yeah, I broke down. It was absolutely horrible. I forced myself to watch these, but then I didn't get any cravings. I didn't get any urges. There was never once that I looked at a product and I thought, oh, I remember the taste of that, because I didn't see them the same way anymore. I didn't like look at a block of cheese and think, that's something I used to enjoy. I looked at the block of cheese and I thought about the mother cow and what she went through. And those feelings, they were stronger than the urges of, or like the tastes that I had before. So it was very, very easy. And I think that me watching that and almost traumatizing myself in a way made it so easy for me. So I think that that would be my best advice. But I don't know if anyone else has any other
What
advice.
about what about like if it's a small farm and they have a couple cows and they're just milking those cows? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the size of farm, the animal, they're still being exploited. They're still, I mean, there's certain practices that has to happen on farms regardless of size. The mother cow has to be great in order to be impregnated. She has to have a baby to lactate. The baby has to be taken away in order for the farm to make a profit selling her breast milk. So yeah, there's no way around it, and you're still treating the animal as a product, as a resource for you, you know.
And most importantly, they're still robbed of their entire existences at the end of it.
Yeah, once their bodies
Oh,
aren't
are they? Are
profitable.
they? They're all killed at the end.
Yeah, so it's a business, Joe. So once their bodies aren't profitable anymore, there's no incentive for the farm to keep spending their money feeding them and providing them with health care and providing them with a roof over their head. There's no incentive for that. They're at the end of the day, they're a commodity, and if they're not making money, there's no point in them being around. They're going to lose money for
Okay,
the farm. So yeah, after 5 or 6 years, she's taken to the slaughterhouse as well.
got
It's
it.
the same
All
as the
right.
egg-laying hens. After 18 months, their bodies become so worn because these animals, they've been bred in a way to maximize profits for humans. They've been bred to produce more milk, more eggs than what's natural. So their lifespans are very, very limited because, yeah, that they're not bred in a way that we've manipulated their bodies to get the most out of them for us, which comes at their detriment. So even them being alive is horrible for them, regardless of the size of farm.
Yeah. Okay. Quick questions then. One is about honey. How do you feel about honey?
Yeah, it's exploitative. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
How
it's
so?
not vegan because bees produce honey for themselves. If we take that away, that's taking away their food source. So they produce it for over the winter. A lot of horrible practices as well in the honey industry. So yeah, they're exploited. We should extend the same kind of logic to the bees as well.
Okay. What about the leather shoes I have right now?
Yeah, it's a bit more nuanced with that. I mean, by wearing them, you're not continuing to exploit somebody. It's more of like, I mean, I wouldn't personally want to wear them, or like advertise or promote the fact that I'm wearing somebody's
Right.
skin. Um, but yeah, I think vegans kind of have different takes on that. It's not, I mean, you're not creating a demand really. So I prefer to focus on the areas where you would be. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if anyone else wants to share anything on that.
I can give you some pragmatic solutions with the iron thing, by the way. But yeah, I would
Sure.
just
Yeah, please.
say, yeah, I would just say with like the shoes, I mean, you've only got a few different options available at your disposal. You can either throw them away, in which case, kind of like the animals just died for something that's been discarded, which is kind of worse in a way, or you can kind of do what I did actually. Like I had a pair of leather Doc Martens and I sold them on Vinted, but then I just realized someone else is going to wear them,
Yeah.
and then it's going to be they're going to be kind of like promoting the fact. So there's not a great deal you can do, but I think if you're not sort of generating or being responsible for ongoing demand, I think it's okay.
All
Wouldn't
right.
let that rest weary on your conscience or anything, but I would just say, yeah, just to kind of like, I'll give you the iron thing, but just to kind of echo what Jem said, I think that what ethics are and what the doing the right thing in life is generally just like treating people the way that you'd like to be treated. And I think if we wouldn't like to be in the same position as the animals, even if we're, I don't think we'd like to be bred into existence and being used as a resource for someone, even if we were being treated well for a few years. So that's what I kind of advocate for. For the iron thing, the vitamin C thing's very good. If you consume it with a food that's dense with vitamin C, like orange juice, it does elevate the absorption threefold to the point that it's actually not that distinct from the absorption that you get from animal products. We do know in dietetics that because there's a delicate counterbalance between calcium and iron, if you consume it with a high calcium source, like soy milk, for instance, it's a great source of calcium. if you consume it with a really high source of calcium, it can block absorption. So you might want to be a bit more pragmatic with that one. And because of certain compositional elements of tea and coffee, that can also block.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can also block absorption. If you do it an hour after the postprandial window, as in like an hour after you've consumed the iron, it's fine. But if you consume it at the same time as having a cup of tea or coffee, it will block the absorption. So if you avoid high calcium sources and tea and coffee, and you take it with like an orange juice or something, you will, as long as you don't have any sort of intrinsic impairment like pernicious anemia or something like that, you should be fine.
Okay, and you said the calcium's okay, just not in conjunction with the iron sources, right?
Yeah, you want to consume, you want to get enough calcium, but just don't consume it
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time as iron. Yeah, so
Okay.
you're gonna have like maybe pick one meal where you try and consume foods that are denser with calcium, and another meal where you're consuming things that are denser with iron. And don't be afraid to utilize fortified foods as a tool as well, because they're a really good resource. Actually, a lot of breakfast cereals are really well fortified with iron, like Cheerios, actually, for instance, is like super fortified with iron. So there's a lot of good, there's good like protein bars, vegan protein bars that are well fortified and stuff as well. So I'm not sure what brands, but I'm sure you can locate it on the internet.
Yep, I'll look it up. Thank you guys so much. I don't want to take up any
So,
more of your time.
well, before you
Oh,
go,
go ahead.
Joe, I've got one very,
Yeah.
very important question. Vegan from now?
Yes, of course. Vegan from now,
Yes.
yes.
Brilliant. No, I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you coming up. And if you've got any other questions, please stay in touch. Yeah, I'm here every week. And yeah, do let us know how you're getting on, or if there's anything else we can help with. Challenge 22 is a good resource, by the way. So if you've got any like questions about practicality, things like that, they'll help you out with that. It's just something you sign up to, and
What
yeah,
is
they
it?
can give you advice. It's called Challenge 22.
Challenge 22. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
just a quick question. Did you go to school to like learn like how to debate like this?
No, I learned as I went. I've done like workshops and stuff.
Okay.
Why does it seem like I am?
No, I'm a new counselor and just really like studying to try to be a better like conversationalist and stuff.
Okay.
And so I just love w watching like you have something to say for every argument that they bring, and yeah, it's just a lot of respect.
I don't know. I think there's better people than me. Like like Cal,
Yeah, I
for
know all the
example.
people that
There's
are on
yeah.
here. Great.
So I don't want to just pinpoint Cal. Obviously everyone on the panel is amazing, but I think
Yes.
some people on Discord, they're like really like well versed in like debating and all this like meta analysis, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not like an expert on that stuff. So
Okay. Well,
yeah,
it's great talking to you guys.
yeah, I appreciate you coming up, and yeah, cool. Yay, another vegan. All right,
Yeah.
cheers.
See ya.
See you. Right, God, it's absolutely boiling, but I was like fanning myself with my notepad, and someone called me a posh twat. So I was like, oh, okay.
I just take that to be a
It's
I would just
okay.
take that to be a compliment. I think they were just saying that you were very well spoken, but
Okay, I'll be a posh twat.
yeah, he was a really nice guy. But no, you're very good, Jem. So don't discount your abilities. You're very good.
I appreciate that. No, sometimes I feel like I'm not very like well spoken. Like I trip over my words sometimes, or like there's a word that my brain is thinking,
wait
and
a
I
second.
can't locate it.
No, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna debate against that, Jem.
Oh,
You're a legend. Like Joe said, you do that exactly. You have an answer for everything, and you do it with such a great way. That's like conversational rather than just like shutting people down. It's more like you're super Socratic in that, which is great. So
ooh, tell me
I'm
more.
gonna disagree with you.
Tell me more good things.
I don't want to
I'm
blow up your
joking.
head, but I'm gonna disagree with you every step of the way if you're saying that you're not great.
No,
So
that's okay. Yeah, no, that's I really appreciate that. Maybe I'm a bit too harsh on myself, but yeah. Yeah, let's not give me a big head. We've got vegans are hypocrites. I feel like this is like a troll account. Has anyone
I
heard of this?
guarantee I guarantee you this guy is a massive waste of time to speak to. He's totally mentally unwell.
Do you know him?
I've spoken to him on a variety of occasions. He's actually psychologically unwell. I guarantee you, he's not worth speaking
Okay.
to.
That's fine. I'll skip for now, but maybe if there's nobody else. I've got Sigs
what's up?
Enjoyable. Sigs Enjoyer, sorry.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 23.
Awesome. Okay. So what's your understanding of veganism, first of all?
That you don't exploit animals?
Yeah,
Or for your own reasons?
Yeah, so it's the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. And by exploiting, I mean using them against their interests for our own selfish purposes. So, like consuming them, wearing their skin, using them for entertainment, testing, those kind of things. So, do you think that we should respect other animals?
No.
You don't? Okay, how come?
Because I think you can't respect a species that doesn't understand what respect means.
No, but you
They
understand what
don't
respect
know.
means, Six. So let me say, so you know, like a human baby, they don't understand what respect means, but you can still respect
Yeah.
them, right?
They have the potential to understand it. So
Yeah, but they
there's a
don't.
big
They
difference.
don't at the moment. But you can still respect their interests when they don't understand what respect is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course, but
Okay.
like
So it's the same
the
with
pig
other
that's on
animals
my
too. So you
what can you
understand
repeat that?
respect, and you can choose to respect their interests even though they don't understand the concept of respect, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't they deserve respect then?
I don't see any benefits in respecting them, to be honest. Like, if the world was vegan tomorrow, like what would change? Nothing.
Well, you don't see any benefit, but they would, but they have their own interests, right? So it would be like me saying, I don't see the benefits in me respecting you. I'm not respecting you because it's a benefit to me to do that. I'm respecting you because you have your own interests, right? Do you understand? Do you deserve respect, Six Enjoyer? Do you deserve respect? Hello? I can't hear you. Can anyone else hear Six?
No.
I can't.
Okay.
I think
Well,
he might be currently enjoying some cigarettes instead of engaging in the conversation.
maybe, but I would just say, Sigs, you know, I could apply your exact same logic to you and say that you don't deserve respect because there's no benefit to me. Oh, he's gone. Yeah, it doesn't. Your own logic doesn't hold up when I put you in the victim's position. Let's just say that, and we'll move on. Oh, hang on, he's requested back.
Yeah, sorry, my internet disconnected. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
did you hear any of that?
No, you have to repeat that. Sorry.
Sorry, I just needed to breathe. Yeah, so I was just saying that I was asking if you deserve respect.
Do I deserve respect?
Yeah, do you deserve
Oh,
respect?
that's the question.
Huh?
This is like really subjective, I guess. But
Yeah, in your subjective opinion, Sigs, do you deserve respect?
like, if I'm
Do you
nice to a
do you
person,
deserve to have your interests respected? Jesus Christ.
I mean, this is like really established in our society. But if we
Okay.
like,
Right, you're not answering the questions, so I'm bored. I'm going to move on. Sir Toastington. Hey, Sir Toastington, are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. So what's your understanding of veganism, first of all, before we go ahead and discuss the topic?
The understanding, obviously, they don't eat meat.
Yeah,
And
so
they don't eat anything that comes from like animals. Not exactly from the like not coming from death, but like
yeah, like the eggs and the breast milk, things like that.
What I do want to ask is like, how come are eggs and milk solely against the like veganism standards?
Can I just, sorry, before you ask the question, we just got to know that you understand what veganism is, because you talked about
Yeah.
a diet.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. So, veganism is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. So, by exploiting, I mean using them against their interests for our own selfish purposes. So, obviously, that includes using them for their body parts, for anything their body produces, for entertainment, testing, their skin, all of that, all of those kind of things, because obviously it's against their interests and we don't need to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm trying my best to follow things up.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, I was on a live yesterday with another vegan, but obviously he ended up being a bit rude toward me. I think you're a bit more understanding.
Okay, thanks. So do you think that we should respect other animals?
I think it depends on, you know, other people's standards.
Yeah, but I'm asking about your standards. Do you think that we should respect other animals?
I think we should, but I feel
Okay.
like as well, you know, I think as well people, you know, should like, you know, just have their own dietaries.
Right. So, do you think that we can truly respect other animals if we are exploiting them? So, if we're using them against their interests for our own selfish purposes, could that be respectful? Do you think?
No, but what about the
No.
grass-fed ones? You know, the ones that have lived their life and then eventually become meat after
Well, they're
death?
also being exploited. They're being used against their interests, right? So,
Do you think it's more valid though when they're grass-fed?
do I think what's more valid?
When they're grass-fed?
I mean, I don't really know what you mean by the question. If you mean, do I think it's like less cruel? Then
Yeah,
I would
it's like less cruel when, you know, they've lived their life.
yeah, I would say maybe in a way, but not in other ways. I think that you could say that it's more cruel because the animals who let's say, you know, they are living in a field, they're having the best life, they're enjoying their lives. I think that to take that away from them, take away the life that they are valuing, is in a way crueler than like putting an animal out of their misery on a factory farm. I think both are bad, and you could say that an animal on a factory farm has it worse in lots of aspects, but yeah, in the aspect that they're never going to live a day again, then I think that that's worse for the cow on the field.
By the way, grass-fed
Let me
animals,
ask you,
they're
I
still
want to
killed.
ask you a question if this is okay. Is how long have you been vegan for?
5 years.
How long, sorry?
5 years.
All right.
Yeah.
And were you vegetarian beforehand?
Very briefly, but you don't have to be. Some people like transition overnight.
So as well, you know, like
So
obviously we
Toast,
have this
can I
other
just,
stuff like
sorry to interrupt, Toast. Can I just go
no, it's
back
all
to
right.
this?
Tell me what you have to
Yeah,
say.
can I just go back to this grass-fed thing that you were talking about?
Yeah, go on.
I don't know that you acknowledge the point that was made. So do you understand why what Jem was saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you repeat why you understand it, and do you agree with it? Don't you agree with it?
I don't know, to be honest. I think. Wait, could you just repeat what you said again, please?
Well, you just brought up that there's some sort of better way because someone's eating a different type of food or something, or that it might be better for them to live in this particular way. Well, Jem's counterpoint was saying that it could be actually considered even more cruel. So what are your thoughts on that? And if you can go back to, because you brought it up, right?
I think it's hard, to be honest. I think, you know, as I've said, it's each to their own.
Yeah, we're just asking about your opinion.
Like I just say, it's each to their own. I mean, obviously, I'm a meat eater.
Yeah.
Okay, and
How's this each to their own? It's like kind of begging the question. Like, each to their own what? Like to the individual cow, they don't want to have to go through that experience and be put in a slaughterhouse.
no, not if
Like
they no
how's that each to their own though? Like would you want to be put into a slaughterhouse?
no, but isn't that kind of different because I'm a human?
Well,
They're like
oh,
a different species to what I am.
so you're talking from a place of privilege, right? So since I'm a human, I can do whatever the fuck I want to somebody and eat them, right?
All right, calm down, buddy. We don't need
No,
the
I'm just
We're
walking.
all
I'm walking
calm.
fast,
It's
so
alright.
sorry, but I'm calm, right?
Um,
I just like I would. I'm only imagining it from their perspective, right? Can you imagine, like, if some other like group of aliens, for example, were sitting around talking about our fate, and we were just talking about it so nonchalantly because you brought up this idea that there might be a better way, but you didn't really have like you brought it up as engagement, but then you didn't really have a counterpoint to it. You just said to each their own.
yeah.
But that's kind of
Because I think
unfair to the. I think that's kind of unfair to the cow that's going to the slaughterhouse because I've been to slaughterhouses, right? I see what the cows go through. Have you ever seen what happens to the cows? Have you ever been to a slaughterhouse?
no, but obviously it's not. I don't intend on doing so. I mean, I've seen the pictures. Like,
Do you
obviously,
think you should be an
it's
informed
quite gory. I
consumer?
have to admit, but obviously,
Do you
this
think
is
you
just
should be an
part.
informed consumer though?
Do I
Because
eat
if you,
meat?
yeah, so there you go. Like we're told that we're eating meat, right? Rather than individualizing that being that's being sent to that awful
Yeah. Let me
place,
just
right?
ask you: are you vegan?
Of course, 12 years.
12 years of
Yeah.
veganism. That
So,
is
so
that is a long time.
yeah, that's actually not really. I wish I was born vegan. I've been lied to like everyone else, but back to the question, like, so you haven't been to a slaughterhouse, you haven't seen the individuals go through this experience. Don't you think you should be an informed consumer and maybe witness that or participate in it?
Not particularly because I still stand with whether I witness animals being slaughtered for meat, it's not going to put me off.
But don't you think that you should do it though? Like maybe do it yourself?
I mean, maybe, but I don't plan to visit a slaughterhouse anytime soon, and I don't think I can just walk in and just have a look around.
So what do you think that experience might be like for someone taking a life?
You what? Sorry.
What do you think that experience might be like for someone taking another individual's life?
Well, it obviously is disturbing, but obviously this thing is just it's been happening for years and years, and obviously I would
Yes,
just
of
say it's
course.
part and parcel of life.
But is it though? Like, is it necessary? Do we have to do it? Is something we've been taught to do, or is it
No,
something that we
I
can
think it's
change?
also I think it's also something that people choose to do.
Right. But do you feel like because people aren't informed enough, or maybe they haven't been into a slaughterhouse, they don't see the consequences of that?
No, I think it's just like I think they just don't really like some people just don't really take notice to it.
Well, what do you think about yourself? Do you think if you were inside a slaughterhouse and seeing, the mother cow squirming and screaming for their life, do you think that might change the way you think about things?
No.
No.
well, I don't
How
think
can you
that Sir
how can you
Toastington
know that?
needs to change the way that he thinks because he said that we should respect other animals and he said that it's not respectful to exploit them. So my next question would have been um, since you think that they deserve respect and it's not respectful to exploit them, do you feel there's anything stopping you from going vegan and living in alignment with your own morals? Because that's what you said.
No. I think wait, just remind me what you said.
So earlier in the conversation, before you started asking me some questions, you said that we should respect other animals and that it's not respectful to exploit them. So to use them against their interests for our selfish purposes, that's not respectful. You said that, right?
Remember? I have
You
a
don't
bit of a
remember.
short-term memory.
Okay. So do you hold that view that it's not
Probably, yeah.
respectful? Yeah. Okay. So is there anything
I
preventing
mean,
you from being vegan and living in alignment with your own morals? Because that's just what veganism is, Right, we
Because
respect
I don't want to have
animals.
vitamin B12 deficiency.
This guy's
So
just trolling now.
No,
yeah,
I'm not trolling. I'm actually having a genuine conversation.
Why would
okay,
it be the case that if you followed a plant-based diet, you'd have a vitamin B12 deficiency? Why would
yeah,
that be the
I'd,
entailment of that?
I would love to know that.
Because because like, what do you call it? Like, most of the time, if like vegans don't plan the diet out properly, they can miss stuff like that out.
Yeah, but the question is, why is it that following a plant-based diet would have the entailment of having a vitamin B12 deficiency? Because what you said is, I don't want to have a vitamin B12 deficiency. So why would it be the case that if someone follows a plant-based diet, an intrinsic feature of that is having a vitamin B12 deficiency? It just seems very peculiar to say.
It's just because it's not natural.
Of course, that
And
doesn't really engage with the question. The question that I'm asking is, why is it that following a plant-based diet simpliciter entails having a vitamin B12 deficiency? I mean,
no,
I'm
because
presuming.
what happens when you don't plan your diet out properly?
Could you actually, just out of interest, just for fun, could you possibly repeat the question back to me that I'm asking you?
I don't even know what the question was.
I mean, this guy's just trolling at this point. I don't
Yeah,
know if you want.
I think we'll
I am
move
not.
on. I
I'm
mean,
not trolling.
I mean, surely you can acknowledge that with any diet you have to like plan out your nutrients, right? Like a plant-based diet is no different.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
I don't know. Look, I think I will move on. You made like two logical fallacies when you were talking to David. You made an appeal to longevity and the is-ought fallacy as well. They're both logical fallacies. I'm not sure.
I am
Yeah, if we
not
should.
trolling. I am just having a genuine conversation. I just think whoever was trying to argue their point is just insensitive.
No, I just think you don't listen, Sir Toast, because when asked several times already, asked you to repeat back the question, you didn't.
Well, you also just said you're trying to have a genuine conversation. Then you just admitted candidly you're not even listening to anything anyone's saying. So.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I think for future Sir Toast, if you want to come back, you're just gonna have to like listen in and have a genuine conversation. That's what you're gonna have to do. Actually
That's what
listen
I was
and
doing.
engage that way. No, you're asking questions rather than engaging with what we're talking about, and even on questions that you brought up, like the grass-fed, for example. So next time, I think you should really come in with an open mind and just listen rather than just ask questions.
Yeah, let me ask one question. One more
people.
question,
I
actually.
think people in the comments are disagreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, that's fine. I
genuinely
mean, people can disagree if they want, but
That's actually also a logical fallacy, by the way. That's an appeal to popularity.
yeah, that's true.
What does that mean? You need to use like simple English. I don't understand that kind of stuff.
Hang on, let me get up the actual definition of a logical fallacy. So it's a use of faulty reasoning. It's an error in reasoning that makes an argument invalid or misleading. So it's flawed reasoning, basically. But anyway, I just want to ask. I want to ask. So I asked if there was anything preventing you from being vegan and living in alignment with your own morals. You mentioned B12. So if you were convinced that you could be vegan and you wouldn't be deficient in B12, would you then be vegan?
Probably not, because I actually enjoy eating meat too much. To be honest, I do love. I honestly love
so there's a
good
taste.
old carvery.
Yeah, so there's
So then
like
you don't care if you can get B12 or not.
Yeah, so it's not
Like,
B12.
why did you bring that up?
You are?
Why did you bring up B12 if you really don't care about that?
No, like if I could, like what she said was if I was to have B12 in a vegan diet, I'd probably
That's
still.
also not engaging with what he just asked you a second ago.
Again, I think we should move on, but I got a dip. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are awesome. Sir Toast, wake up. Come on.
Thank you, David. Yeah, see you
Wow,
soon.
how rude.
What is rude? Someone leaving the panel?
No, him. Like, I was telling me to wake up, and I'm just explaining my points.
Okay. Well,
you're being very disingenuous right now, Toast.
Yeah. You mentioned taste as well. So, do you think pleasure justifies violence? Or let me?
I don't know. I'm not.
let me
I mean,
try and make it
let me ask you
not so.
something, okay? Because
Wait, I'm trying to ask a question. So, do you think
okay,
that
so go on.
pleasure is a good enough reason to justify an action when there's a victim involved?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, what I was going to ask you is, you know, like obviously yous don't eat fish and that. You'll let sharks eat the fish. So
See,
really,
this
shouldn't we stop apex predators from eating our animals then?
this guy's
Yeah,
literally just
I'm
a
not.
troll, by
I'm
the
not
way.
going to engage in a conversation with somebody who doesn't answer, who refuses to answer my questions. So, yeah, we'll just move on. Next, we've got Courtney. Hey, Courtney, are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. So, Courtney, before we go further, just to clarify veganism, what's your understanding of that term? So, what do you think it means to be vegan?
I just wanted to specify I am vegan. I've
Oh, my bad.
been for over
Sorry,
12 years.
I didn't
So
recognize
I
your
wanted
profile.
to. No, there's no worries. I just wanted to join the conversation and possibly answer questions that non-vegans might have about veganism since they
Cool.
seem confused.
Yeah, did you want to stick around on the panel?
I'd be happy to.
Cool. Yeah, if you could go ahead and put yourself on mute, I'll be accepting guests up, but you're welcome to jump in at any time if you want to make like a specific point or wait until after the conversation or whatever. Yeah, it's quite relaxed. So yeah, there's no pressure or anything as well. Just if and when you want to speak up, you can go ahead. Hey, Sonny, are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm 26.
Perfect. So what's your understanding of veganism?
From my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, veganism is where you don't eat meat or yeah. I mean, I can look.
No, don't worry. You don't have to. I was just wondering what your current understanding was because it's fine. Like a lot of people have like different interpretations. That's all. So veganism, the definition is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. So by exploiting, I mean using them in a way that goes against their interests for our own selfish purposes. So using them for their flesh, skin, fur, feathers, breast milk, eggs, testing, entertainment. Sorry?
Yeah, I said byproduct, etc.
Well, those were just some examples of how we could exploit other animals. So do you think that we should respect other animals?
No, 100% for sure.
Okay. And do you think that it's possible to truly respect them if we are exploiting them for those kind of things?
Do I think it's possible to? Are you asking if I think it's possible to respect animals and not be vegan?
I'm asking, yeah, essentially, if it's possible to respect them and exploit them at the same time, like if we can respectfully exploit them.
Yes.
You're gonna say
I'm
yes.
gonna say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question would then become: let's say you're being used for your body as a resource for somebody else, or you're being used as a commodity for your body parts, for what your body produces, for your reproductive organs. Is that respectful towards you when it's unnecessary and it's against your interests?
100%.
And
I know this sounds backhanded. Oh no, sorry.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry.
Sure. So we've got like two different answers depending on who the victim is. So we've got yes, it can be respectful to exploit other animals, but it wouldn't be respectful to do the same thing to you. So then my question becomes, what's the morally relevant difference between you and them that justifies the difference in view?
Okay, so my main purpose for thinking, and I'm just going to strictly use the eating of animals. My main purpose is I'm disabled. I have a bunch of chronic illnesses, and I have a bunch of dietary restrictions and all of that. I actually have something called gastroparesis. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is or not. If not, I can definitely explain.
I know what that is.
Okay, it is basically the paralysis of the stomach. I also have things, there's a condition that I have called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, etc. And there are certain foods that I can eat that have, for instance, right now, one of the only foods that I can eat is yogurt, which is a dairy product, right? It is the only food that I can eat that doesn't make me completely sick to my stomach and constantly sitting over the toilet puking. And so that's why I think it is okay for people to not be vegan, because A, it is a choice that you have to be able to make, and B, if people can't eat food that isn't vegan, that should be their choice. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I just want to ask. I know, Cal, for example, in the chat, probably will have something to say about the illness stuff. But before we go into that, so I was going to ask. So if you didn't have these, I don't know what's it. I don't want to call them like issues, or if that wasn't
You
the
can say
case,
disabilities.
yeah.
Disabilities is a word. Yeah.
Things
Yeah,
like
but
EDS aren't disabilities, by the way.
Huh?
Things like EDS are not disabilities.
EDS is a disability. Yes, it is. It is a disorder that affects my life, which is disabling me. Which
Yeah,
is
but is it categorized medically as being a disability? Because I could just say like me having the flu is disabling me. That doesn't mean it's a disability.
Yes,
yeah.
but POTS and CAS, other things that I have. I'm also visually impaired, legally blind, and
Yeah, but just to be clear, saying things like EDS are not disabilities, just to be specific. But yeah, go on.
okay, and that's, I mean, whatever.
Let
I'm
me
just saying,
rephrase. Let
I
me
am-
rephrase, because we don't need to debate whether it's a disability or not. It's beside the point. So let me rephrase. So if you found that you could be healthy, you could get all of your nutrition on a plant-based diet, do you feel that then it's a moral obligation for you to do so?
I would say yeah.
You would, okay, because you said that this is I'm paraphrasing here, so correct me if I've misunderstood or misrepresented what you said. But what I picked up on was I can't be vegan, so everybody else should have a choice and shouldn't have to. Or did you mean only people are who are suffering from similar kind of, I don't know, ailments or whatever?
No, my stance is, it is not my, because I can't be vegan doesn't mean other people can't be vegan. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, and then you mentioned that the only thing you can eat is yogurt, but there is vegan yogurt, right?
Yeah, but as of right now, the only so yogurt and Rice Krispie treats, and apple juice are pretty much what I've been able to consume. I can have other food, but it makes me like deathly ill. And so that is pretty much what I'm able to consume.
Okay.
And on top
So,
of that,
oh, sorry, I thought
one
you were
second.
finished.
And on top of that, yeah, I also have something called ARFID, which is avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. So trying new foods is pretty bad for me. And so it takes me a very, very long time to be able to try new things. And on top of that, it would take my body a long time to adjust to new things. So me becoming vegan, even if I didn't have the GI issues that I had or the health issues that I had, and I could financially, physically, emotionally, whatever, become vegan, it would take me years
Yeah.
to get
Okay.
to that point.
So let me ask. So the question I was going to ask is, let's say, so I'm going to give you like a hypothetical question. It's like a thought experiment, or whatever. So let's say, you woke up tomorrow and you discovered that there were no animal-based products available. There was no dairy products. They weren't available. They were all gone. Do you think that you could find a way to survive and to be healthy, or do you think you would perish?
I mean, I'm a pretty big fruits and veggies gal. Like, I would rather like a salad over a steak any day. Like, that's my forte, anyways. Like, I really appreciate a good salad. Before all of my GI issues, I again would choose like a cucumber over a salad any day, or bread. Like, I love bread. But like I've mentioned before, I have a lot of GI issues currently, and so that's not something that I can do. But I think I could. I think that is something that I could do. Percy
Okay.
Combo.
Okay. So your complications aren't actually restricting you from being vegan, like they're not actually preventing you. Maybe it would be a bit more challenging for somebody in your situation, but it's not, they're not actually stopping you from being vegan if you want it to be, right?
I would say they do play a big role in it. I would say mentally and physically they do play a big role in it.
Yeah, but they're not actually preventing you, because you could find a way to be vegan and to be healthy. If this is why I asked you the hypothetical question, because I wanted to find out if you think that it could be possible.
I mean, yeah, for me, maybe. I mean, I obviously don't know, right? I'm not in that position. There obviously still is cows, chickens, all of the things that people eat when, but.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, somebody else on the panel, like Cal, for example, I don't know, the other two's expertise or whatever, but they may be able to help you, like, with the practical side of things. But yeah, since you could be vegan, I just want to go back to like the original question that I asked. So you said that it wouldn't be respectful to exploit you for your body parts, but it is respectful, or it can be respectful, to exploit other animals for their body parts or functions or whatever. Do you stand by that?
No, I don't. I think that there is ethical ways to resource meat and byproducts from animals.
Okay, but you said already that there isn't an ethical way to exploit you, right? So I was trying
Oh, no,
to
there is an ethical way to exploit me. You could, yeah.
exploit
There is an
you.
ethical way. Yeah.
Do you know what
100%.
exploitation means, Sonny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Can you tell us what that means?
If somebody's like, hey, can you stop? Just for like an kato. So sorry, my dogs are being a pain in my ass. Kato. One. Good deal. Like exploitation. I'm so sorry. I have a really bad migraine, and so I have really bad brain fog. Exploitation is probably not the direct definition. Is like, I don't fucking know.
She has no idea what it means.
Yeah,
By the way,
'cause if you don't
in her video,
understand,
in her video, she's playing with her dogs in the back garden, like throwing the ball around and stuff. I don't think she has any of these medical conditions, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, exploitation. You can't you can't claim that something's exploitative if you don't even know what exploitative is. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna wait for ages, so I might drop her.
Yeah, there's also no evidence that any of these conditions would subvert you following a plant-based diet, by the way.
Well, we determined that, because this is why I gave the hypothetical. Oh, you're back.
And yes, and I'm sorry, but people should be able to choose whether they want to do that or not.
Right. Okay, but
hold on, wait, pause.
Did you not say?
Wait. Let me finish. There's also people with worse conditions than I have. People who are.
Yeah, let's not talk about other people, because we're here having a conversation with you. It's not fair. No.
But I can.
No,
but I can.
Okay. If you're just gonna talk over me, I'm just gonna drop you, because yeah, let's not talk about other people. Oh, this person does this person can only do this. It's pointless.
By the way, I've seen her run this same script on various other live streams, by the way. So
yeah, I feel like I recognize her voice. Maybe she was on someone else's stream or something. But yeah, we've already determined that she can be plant-based. Yeah. But right, just to let everyone know, I only have 20 minutes left, so I do have to go at 10. But we can get some more in until then. Next we have OD. Hey, are you over 18?
Yeah, I'm also vegan.
Oh,
I've been vegan for 20 years.
it's
But what I wanted to say really quick was, whatever medical conditions, etc., do not exclude Sunny from being vegan in other parts of her life.
well, it doesn't
Like
it doesn't
she can,
exclude her from being vegan in the plant-based eating part either. We established that.
well,
But
it doesn't, that part doesn't matter because it's not a diet, it's a moral stance, right?
mm,
So it's all about how she interacts with animals in the world. If she is exploiting them or not, is really what it comes down to. And you can do that. You can interact in a non-exploitative way with animals regardless of what disabilities you have.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't come down to that.
Yeah.
But
Did you
that was all I wanted
Yeah,
to come
no,
up to
that's
say.
fine. Did you want to stay or drop off? I think he's gone.
Um, Sorry, I was just trying to get right now I'm speaking through my watch, so I was trying to get it off of my watch. But yeah,
Sorry.
I can stay around for about 5 more minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. If you could just mute yourself. If you want to say anything, you're welcome to unmute yourself. And when you need to go, you can feel free to just drop off. That's fine. So next we have Spillay Wiley. Hey, are you over 18?
Hey y'all. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I was just asking if you were over 18.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm 27.
Great.
I talked to Landon yesterday. I
Oh,
couldn't
cool.
really form a coherent version of what my position was, but I have that written out now, and I just wanted to share it with y'all.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I recognize that your motives are valid and rooted in a sincere regard for the rights of our non-human relatives. But what I disagree with is the underpinning presumption that modernity is the endpoint from which the plurality of lifeways on this planet are evaluated. It strikes me as colonial, and the framing of survival as the prerequisite for ethical legitimacy of cultural practices such as hunting implies a linear conception of human development. And to me, it also represents the erasure of or possibly ignorance to our being in relation with those we hunt or maintain. As though we're impoverished or barbaric without having the option of Whole Foods tofu cubes. So I reject the position that such a practice is equivalent to factory farming and must undergo assimilative obsolescence merely because it is deemed unnecessary when industrial substitutes exist. But your critique is applicable to the developed world where most people are virtually cultureless beyond their rituals of consumption and are in fact disconnected from what they consume precisely because it comes from a supermarket. Though still my concern is that the outcome of the Western adoption of plant-based diets is merely a reproduction or reorientation of this paradigm rather than its deconstruction or abolition. So any alternative commodities are still produce
Okay.
mechanisms, which is
Is
why I disagree
sorry.
with the
Is it much
dictate that
is it
I'm a
much longer?
vegan.
Because there's a lot to unpack, and I feel like yeah, you're I didn't realize it was going to be
The
so
last
long.
part, the last
Okay. Just finish the last part then.
I look forward to engaging with this.
Yeah, I checked out after the first sentence because there's obviously definitions and stuff we need to establish. Like sorry, finish the last part, and then if
I
Landon
just
or
think
Cal wanted
I think
to.
land is also not a commodity. That's what I was saying.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who wants to take this, but yeah, like I said, I checked out after like the second sentence because yeah, there's too much to unpack there.
Yeah, just have a sort of simple question. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there was some kind of like talk about colonialism and stuff. Let's just say that we found an indigenous tribe that were like factory farming children, right? Like, or rather, they were hunting children for food, and they've been doing it all the way since the conception of their tribe or whatever, of their society. Like, would you be okay with it in virtue of the
I'm
fact
not
that
saying that all cultural like practices are like necessarily, meant to be reproduced just because they're traditional. I'm saying that from the position of, Western ethics, it just seems too linear in my conception that y'all should dictate who does what.
do you
You know
think
what I
that
mean?
do you actually think that that engages with the question I just asked you?
I think that I don't really want necessarily to play into y'all framework,
So basically,
because
you're just
I think that
so basically
it's too easy for y'all to
so
I don't know.
basically you're being interactively dishonest. Okay, got it. Okay, so why would we
Yeah,
continue on speaking?
sure.
Okay,
If you want to frame it that way, that's fine. But
okay, cool.
and I just wanted to say my piece.
Nice
You know what I
talking to you,
mean?
Baz.
So
Okay.
you were asking, you were making the statement about, about it specifically being so specific to the modern Western world, etc., which I have total issues with saying, Western world in there, because a lot of veganism originates in the Eastern world.
Oh, for
But
sure.
that said, the thing is, we can't meet the problems where we want them to be. We have to meet the problems with where they are, and where they are right now is within a world that is overwhelmed by this exploitative behavior, this way of, it's not just exploiting the animals, right? It's also exploiting the humans, the workers, the land. It is turned land into a commodity.
That's what
When
I'm saying. Yeah.
right, so veganism is partially fighting back against that commodification of the land. Because if we talk about who it is who is exploiting the land in the strongest way, and I mean, besides, of course, fossil fuels, etc., it's much more the animal agriculture than it is the plant-based agriculture. I mean, and part of that is because animal agriculture is causing there to be more plant agriculture.
Right.
So if we want to uh, if we want to pay attention to the issues and strike down the issues where they are, the first thing we need to do is see where things are right now, and go from there. And someday we can break down where things go as far as survival and culture and that. But right now, the most important thing is stopping this mass exploitation.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Thank you guys for listening to me.
Cool.
And I'm dropping now.
Yeah. Okay. So next up we have okay. Yeah, I don't know
By the
what.
way,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, fair enough on him conceding on that point there at the end. I just feel like when somebody doesn't really want to have their views, I mean, like the purpose of these kind of interactive conventions is surely to, give people the tools to think about what their views really are. And if somebody doesn't really want to be sort of like interactively present in that sense, then it just seems like a waste of time. But fair enough to the guy. He did admit that what the other guy said was accurate at the end. So, like, big up, I guess.
Yeah, I just didn't want to spend time sort of going through everything, because I think that we could probably have a conversation with him for like half an hour because there was a lot of points he made, but I'm gonna try and
Yeah.
get another one in anyway, because I've got still a couple of minutes. Next we have Lex and Mercedes. Hey, are you over 18?
Hello. I am 20.
Perfect. So what's your understanding of veganism first before we go further? What do you think it means to be vegan?
Not using animal products and byproducts in your daily life, whether that's eating it or it's in like a skincare product or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a consequence of being vegan, but it all stems from the ethical principle, which is that humans should live without exploiting other animals. And by exploiting, I mean using them in a way that goes against their interests. So yeah, it could be like for any purpose, like using them for their flesh, eggs, breast milk, testing, like you said. Do you think that we should respect other animals?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. And do you think that...
I mean,
sorry. Do you think that it's possible to truly respect them if we are exploiting them at the same time?
That's difficult. I think there are ways that we might be able to, but I also think that at the same time, animals are not treated well in today's world.
Okay. You said it's difficult, so let me put you in that position and ask. So if somebody was exploiting you for your body, so using your body in a way that went against your interests for their selfish purposes, could that ever be respectful towards you, do you think?
Probably not.
No. Okay. So you said so for you the answer is no, but for the other animals you say that it's difficult or that it could be like the answer is a little bit less definitive. So is there like a reason for the difference in view compared to if you're the victim or they are? Because the action is the same, right? It's just I've just replaced the victim, so I'm just trying to understand why your view changes when the victim's different, if that makes sense.
I think it's more like say a cow was pregnant, had its baby, and it is I don't know much about cows, hypothetically. And it is creating too much milk. You would have to milk that cow. We might use that milk because, why, just kind of like human breast milk, why would you really want to get rid of that? Like it's a lot of good nutrients. I don't know if they would give it to the other baby cows.
Well, you have to understand what you're asking for. So you would have to be creating that mother to be pregnant. You have to make them pregnant in order for them to have a baby, and then you're saying you're helping them out by taking the milk, but really you're creating that problem for them. So
yeah.
If they procreated on their own,
yeah, but
animals,
that's not happening. That's not happening though. The cows that are around now, they're forcefully bred. So they're essentially great.
Farms, yeah, for sure.
On pretty much all farms, there's no cows that are just, breeding. Cows are here as a commodity. So you have to create that problem to solve that problem. If we would say, hey, we shouldn't be breeding animals because we would be exploiting them, then they wouldn't be around for us to milk.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. But at the same time, like, if we didn't do that, then we wouldn't have cows, which would mess with the circle of life.
No, not at all. Because, again, we bred these cows into existence.
Sorry, I can't hear you. You guys carry on. I think everyone else might be able to hear you.
Exploitation. We're using them in
by the way,
very horrific ways.
Cows existed before human intervention in modern agriculture. agriculture, by the way, and actually natural sort of agriculturally grazing cows exist. In Scotland, for instance, there's Highland cows. They're not farmed for food or anything. They just graze naturally, and they're wards of the state, if you will. They're actually legally mandated to be taken care of and not exploited. So yeah, these cows do exist, have always existed, and would still exist whether we exploited them or not.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So can it be respectful to exploit mothers for their breast milk?
I don't know that exploit would necessarily be the right word if they
Well, according
would
to the
have.
definition that I use, so we're using them for their reproductive system. We're making them get pregnant. We're taking their baby away so that their baby doesn't drink their milk. We're using her reproductive system as a means to an end. We're using her as a commodity to make money from. We're making money from her body. It is exploitation. Like there's no
That would be
debate about it.
exploitation.
That wouldn't be exploitation.
No, that would be exploitation.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah. So could that ever be respectful?
In that way, no.
I mean, that is the only way. Like that is how it's done. I mean, how else are you going to consume the breast milk of a cow without getting them pregnant? They're a domesticated species. They don't just exist in nature naturally reproducing. They reproduce because we make them reproduce. Because they're
I
domesticated.
mean, we did just talk about the Highland cows.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
but
must
the ones that we exploit for food, she's saying, is the ones that we breed into existence. Like they wouldn't. My point
Well,
was
yeah.
they would go extinct if we didn't exploit them.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like it's unnecessary. I don't know why somebody would even defend consuming the breast milk that was meant for a baby cow because it's completely like unnecessary. It would be like trying to defend, I don't know, drinking hippo milk or giraffe milk. It just, it's just
Or dog milk.
unnecessary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or human milk.
You're a dog lover, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you obviously you wouldn't tolerate that type of treatment to dogs. Like let's just say that we were kind of like and it is literal like sexual assault, by the way. Let's just say that we were like sexually assaulting dogs and breeding their children and taking their kids away and like executing their kids and like squeezing their breast milk squeezing their breast milk out of them. You wouldn't tolerate that, right?
Well, no.
Yeah, and when you look at cows, you know, the way that they, I'm not sure if you've studied ethology that much or anything, but when you actually look at the behaviors of cows, the way that they perceive, the way that their cognitive structures are, the way that they actually observably interact with each other, the way that they play games with their species and other species, and the way that they show affection to humans is like almost identical to the way that dogs operate as well. So it just seems like there's a kind of peculiar a sort of asymmetry in your view in the way that you're kind of tolerant of certain treatment towards cows but not dogs when the two beings are almost identical. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. For me it's kind of difficult because I do try to be as vegetarian or vegan as I can be, but in a way I'm a little bit in the same boat as Sunny, where I do have medical issues that if, animal products and everything were to be eradicated, I would not survive. At this point, I would not be healthy. It would just not work out for me. But in the ways that I can be, I do avoid animal products.
Just out of interest, what if you don't, I mean, like if you feel comfortable saying, like what medical issues do you have that you think would subvert you following a plant-based diet?
So I have slowed gastric emptying, and in my case, amongst other things, I do not tolerate most like plant-based products.
I mean,
It's
there's like hundreds of thousands of edible plants. I've been plant-based almost my entire life, and I don't think I've consumed even like vaguely close to like most plant-based products.
No, I know, but I'm saying like there is about 1 to 2 foods that I can safely consume and not be incredibly ill, and even then I'm on a lot of supplements that would not be able to be plant-based to keep me alive.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, surely it would be fair to say there's got to be like tens of thousands of plant-based foods that you haven't ever tried. Because I think it's, like I know a lot of people that are plant-based, and I've been plant-based almost my entire life. And I don't think I've consumed like a fraction of the amount of available plant-based foods in existence. So maybe it just warrants a bit more trial and error, and maybe like working with someone that might be able to assist you in
I've
that
been
regard.
trialing and erroring.
Yeah, because when you actually
I've
look
been
at
trying.
when you actually look at the literature on plant-based diets, and I can cite you some sources if you're interested, but there's no medical condition that would subvert you being plant-based, and I mean that's the adjudication of the sort of like aggregation of health professionals in the domain. Actually, that was the finding of a study that Jen cited earlier on in the live stream. But when you actually look at the literature on plant-based diets, they're actually like a viable treatment for a lot of gastrointestinal issues. Actually, they're, if done pragmatically, and again, this is where working with a professional can be really utility generating, but you have to sort of do it in an incremental way. And I wouldn't like give advice on this because I'm not licensed to do it, but there's a sort of way that you can do things like low FODMAP diets, for instance, which is a kind of elimination diet, and you very slowly, incrementally like increase things like fiber and stuff like that. And it actually has like really good health benefits in the long term for people with even people with like severe gastro emptying issues as well. There actually are ways to treat that with plant-based diets.
Oh no, I know. I'm on FODMAP. I
Yeah.
have mast cell activation syndrome, amongst a bunch of other allergies, and I have a bunch of GI issues. I have a bunch of what is the word that I'm looking for? Genetic issues that aren't things that I can just really get rid of, unfortunately.
You have genetic issues, like what?
I have something called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a
Yeah,
genetic connective tissue disease.
Yeah, connective tissue disorder. Yeah, but that wouldn't subvert you following a plant-based diet though, because there's nothing intrinsic to animal-based foods that's stimulatory to connective tissue. So
Right, but it does cause other issues that could make that. But for me specifically, like I said, I try to be as vegetarian or vegan as I can. It is something that I do feel pretty strongly about. But at the same time, I, for the past almost year now, have been surviving off of purely potatoes, which would be fine, except for the fact that that is incredibly unhealthy when all that you're consuming is potatoes, right? Like I can't drink anything. I'm telling you, I do not tolerate.
you just said that you were on a low FODMAP diet and potatoes are high FODMAP.
I have been on low FODMAP, yes. I've tried so many diets. Here's the thing.
Seems like a contradiction, but okay.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't going to the doctor yet, and then I went to the doctor, and the doctor put me on the FODMAP diet, and now I'm no longer eating the potatoes.
What are you following in your, like, what foods are you eating for your low FODMAP diet?
What am I on right now?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I have not a lot. It's mostly just the things that I have been able to tolerate, which aren't necessarily all low FODMAP.
Well, look, I'm just gonna say it was nice talking to you.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming up. Yeah, it's so weird. I kind of wonder whether these kind of people are paid to come up and say this, because these kind of things are so rare, but we've had like 2 of them today, and I always see these kind of people on vegan platforms, on vegan channels, and
Yeah, I don't know what motivates them, but like the problem is I'm very, very well acquainted with the literature in nutritional science, and there's like no evidence that any of these conditions would subvert you following a plant-based diet. And much like that guest, when you actually query what foods they're consuming, they can't tell you, or they just end up contradicting themselves.
Yeah, Sonny and Lex, there was somebody came out recently and basically exposed, like, there's basically a group of people who are paid to post on like vegan pages to say that veganism's unhealthy and all of that. So yeah, it just kind of makes me suspicious, especially when you can't answer questions like as simple as what are you currently eating. Like, come on. Anyone would be suspicious if somebody can't name what they're eating that's low FODMAP. But yeah, so I don't know what the motivation is behind people like that even joining. Yeah, it's very weird. But anyway, I also kicked her because it's gone 10, so I do have to go. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who's been up and had a conversation. Apologize if you've requested and I haven't got around to speaking with you. I will be back next week, so if you come back then, hopefully we'll get around to having a conversation. And yeah, thank you to everybody who's been on the panel. We've got Landon and Cal. We also had OD and David and who else? Who else did we have? I'm sure we had. Oh crap!
Oh, we had the 40-year-old.
Yeah, we had.
Vegan.
I remember David. There was someone else as well, though. I'm sure. There was a female.
Thanks for having me.
There was there was a female. I don't remember. I feel so bad. It's all right. You two don't remember either, so I'm sure there was. Anyway, I appreciate whoever that person was, and yeah, hope to see you back next week. No worries if not, but hopefully. But I am going to shoot off because I'm doing a vigil tomorrow, so I won't be live on TikTok, but I'm going to be live on YouTube for anybody who's here who wants to join. And that'll be from 8 a.m. UK time. So yeah, I need to go and get some rest. Oh, VSL said her name was Courtney. There you go. Thank you, Courtney.
I appreciate you having me as well, by the way, and I appreciate what you do as well, Jem. So keep at it.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah. Good to meet you. I know I didn't say too much, but yeah, thanks for having me up.
No, you're good. Yeah, feel free to request back up anytime. But yeah,
appreciate it.
I'm going to drop off now. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
That is a wrap. Right. So I'm not going to hang around for too long yapping because it's gone past 10. I'm going to be up early. I'm going live at 8 a.m. and I've got to travel to the slaughterhouse. It's not that far, but yeah, I'm still going to have to get up and get all my stuff together. Yeah, thank you to everybody on YouTube who's been chatting, who's been, what's the word? So I keep playing with this because I think I've got a bite. Who's been engaging in the chat. Thank you to mods, really appreciate it. Yeah, you've done a really good job today modding. It looks like the chat's been really busy. I appreciate we've probably had some dickheads in the comment section, but the views are really good. We've got 2,100, which is good compared to the previous lives. I think this is probably one of the better ones, so that's cool. I'll just answer this before I go, actually. Moles, rats and birds killed every day by farmers to grow your tofu. Yeah, God, oh. Can you all hear me, by the way, when this happens? Jesus, why? It was fine for the whole stream. There we go. It was fine for the whole stream. Anyway, oh God. Right, I was going to say, yeah, so firstly, yeah, tofu isn't grown. That's like such a dumbass comment. It's basically like saying, oh, when you grow your bread. So we grow soy, and most soy is actually grown to feed farmed animals, so we can minimize the amount of animals unalived. I don't have to say unalived anymore because I'm not on TikTok. We can minimize that amount by adopting a plant-based diet. Oh shit, it did it again. And also, yeah, veganism is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. We're not justified to exploit somebody just because moles and rats and birds are killed to grow tofu. Let's say, for example, a human died in a car traffic accident transporting whatever you eat. Does that mean you're then justified to enslave and exploit other humans? Come on, let's think about things before we say them. Marcus, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. 20, is that dollars? Euros? 20 euro donation. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It all goes towards my activism. So, because obviously I'm going to be spending money on petrol. Ah! What is going on? Oh, that is so annoying. Right, I'm going to go before it carries on doing this. Yeah, I need to replace something, but I don't know which one, because I've got this thing plugged into my phone and then a wire which is plugged into something else and then something else which is plugged into my laptop, and I'm like, what needs replacing? Oh, you can hear me when the video cuts. That's cool. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, thank you very much. Oh, for God's sake, it's doing it again. I'm gonna go before I get mad. I get so frustrated at technology. I really do. But yeah, forever vegan. And if anybody's around tomorrow, hopefully I'll see you in the morning. I'm going to the halal slaughterhouse that I went to. Yeah, so my phone is on charge. Yeah, don't worry about my battery. It is on charge. I don't know why. I think it just disconnected. It's plugged in. Wait, I do like Angry Jam. I don't like Angry Jam. Right, yeah. I am gonna go. Thank you so much, everybody. You all rock. Stony lying. Even technology is sick of her shit. Okay. Right, okay. I'll hopefully see you some of you guys tomorrow. If not, hopefully I'll see you next week. Yeah. Bye bye.